up, everybody? How is everyone doing tonight? Here, let's see. Just Xing out a few things. I decided, so the streams start at 7, but what I've decided to do is basically, let me see if this is playing. Is my sound on? Xing out a few things. Awesome, there it is. Yeah, there we go. So what I decided to start doing is streams are at 7, and then I'm like, you know what? If I'm on the computer before 7, I'll go ahead and start the stream, and we'll just kind of mess around, do some stuff. This time, we're going to be playing a little bit of League of Legends. I'm going to get, one game in while we wait for people to funnel in. As long as it gives me my support class. I need to be able to play support. I don't like to play anything else. Zach, what's up, man? Alley oops. Hey, Kevin, hope you had a great week. I have had a great week. Thank you so much. I hope you all have had a great week, too. So, these League of Legends matches are roughly like, I don't know. They can be 30 minutes to like an hour, honestly. But we're just going to mess around with this just for a little bit. Just for, because y'all know it usually takes about, 20 minutes. We don't really funnel in around that. I like to be around that 15 odd viewer mark by the time I start reading stories for the night. And that usually takes till around like 7:30 or so. Oh, hi, Taco. Takoyo. Sorry. I always call you Taco. Sorry. What's up, Osiris? How you doing, man? All right, here, let me go ahead and let me switch the monitors. So we're just going to play one match, League of Legends, guys. That should bring us to around 7:15, 7:30 or so. And then, someone declined. Once we're done one game, we are going to dive into the stories. So for tonight, it's actually going to be. Let me pull up my bookmarks. Tonight, I've actually come prepared. I know what we're going to do tonight. I know I don't know exactly which stories we're going to read, but I have a list. Tonight is basically going to be. We might work on Cave to Another World. I didn't get a chance to really do anything with that. But tonight is going to be basically like a members-only Patreon read tonight, I think. I want to build up like 4 or 5 stories for the members-only and Patreon group. So, and those typically, I usually pick the stories for the members videos to be around that like 10 to 20 minute mark, because those videos don't perform well on the regular YouTube channel. But I know people who are dedicated to the channel do watch them, but just like, they don't go out to a broader audience. So I want to did the champions change? I guess they did. It is Monday. Did I not buy Blitzcrank? Oh, Blitzcrank is who I want to play. Oh, come on. That sucks. So, yeah, we're going to read probably 4 or 5 members-only stories tonight. So, if you're here for the live streams, that's awesome. You get to, and you're not a member or a Patreon member, then you get to listen to some members-only stories tonight. While y'all watch me probably fail, and I'm so mad I don't have a Blitzcrank. It sucks you can't just buy them real fast. All right, let's lock in Leona. Love member-only videos. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you do. I'm glad. What I want to start doing, and I know I've been saying this forever, but I want members-only content to come out at the minimum, at least one member video every single week. Member/Patreon. And I'm just going to start working harder, and I'm just going to start recording more. And then I'll probably start doing maybe even 2 member Patreon videos a week, and we'll see how that works. All right. Yeah, today was a baby day. I was here with baby girl all day. Been hanging out with her since 7 in the morning, so about the past 12 hours. So yeah, and also too for the member videos, I've got, so last night I just went through a bunch of stories and I saved like probably 15 to 20 stories the other night, looking through, speed reading, seeing what I like, seeing which ones I want to pick. And I've got about 15 to 20 members only stories exclusively. Most of them come from O2321, who's authored a good amount of stories on the channel, especially the long ones. Yeah, don't forget about having a life. That's right. I do my best. That's why I'm allowing myself at least one video game on stream tonight. You know, even Dexter told me a couple weeks ago, you don't have to work every night. You don't have to. Every live stream doesn't have to be a work live stream. Go ahead and have some fun every now and then too. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And ever since League of Legends came out with Classic League, I've been like, heck yeah, because I played this game when I was in high school, and let's see, what are the starting items? You got to get boots, and then a bunch of health pots. I'll grab 1 mana pot. We'll get the yellow trinket. Baby duties equals game time. I wish. I cannot. It's so hard to juggle her, back and forth because she just loves. She hit 3 months old today. It was her 3-month-old birthday. But boy, oh boy, she just loves to be held. So I gotta hold her all the time, and then when she does go down for nap times in between the day, if you hold her, she'll nap for, 2 hours. But if I get her nap going and then I put her in the bassinet so I can go ahead and do something else, she'll sleep for like half an hour and then wake up. And then I'm like, all right, daddy's coming. I'm on the way. But I love it. I love it. So yeah, I really don't get to do anything on the days that, mom's at work and I'm with her. But, I do, I get to watch a lot of TV. That's fun. What else do we get done? I have been getting some extra recording done, so that there are the times where I'm watching her during the day, and I do get to put her down for half an hour in the bassinet while she naps. Maybe an hour she'll sleep in the bassinet, and then that can be like all recording time, which is nice. Damn. They really came out for that one. That sucked. Oh my gosh. That puts you so far behind in the match, too. It's so annoying. I was not expecting to get ganked like that. Oh, he's dead. There might be some dead space. I am not good at playing games and talking at the same time, so please, I gotta focus on this. So please excuse me. Right now we got Grandma and Grandpa watching her. You know, my wife will get home in about about an hour or so. Yeah, so Grandma and Grandpa, they come home, they come over, watch her on live stream nights, help me out. You know, it's awesome. What's going on, Rogue? Good to see you. Good to see you. There is a pretty gnarly storm going on right now, too, by the way. So I could lose power at like any time and just have no idea. And then just out of nowhere. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Come on. I did not mean to flash. I meant to. Ugh, that's annoying. And we didn't even win that engage either. Dang. She's so close, too. That sucks. Oh, no! Oh, that sucks. Yeah, this just might not be a good game. We'll see how it goes. What are we supposed to buy? We gotta get a ruby sight stone. Let me grab another ward. I totally thought I had her too. Man, that thunder is just rumbling. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a rough match. I don't think we're going to fare too well. I'm restarting your Assassin's Creed journey. Always a good game to pick. Assassin's Creed is all. I don't have Assassin's Creed, but I've watched my brother play it all the time, and the Assassin's Creed games are freaking awesome. The amount of like in depth those games have too is like super cool. Bro, he just tried to gank us a third time. All right, if she comes down, I'm going in. Oh, there's no way that missed. It's a good thing it did miss, though. Damn. Fuck. Jeez, I can't type today. We're just screwed down here, man. Watch you, like, is he even gonna win this? I'm almost here. Ah, what a little punk. Shit, don't. Oh my gosh, bro. Damn, this sucks. This game's already over. Kevin, what are you playing? League of Legends Classic. I need to get back on I go in my like Red Dead phases. So I do have one of the PCs. So what I normally play on PC is I play Manor Lords a decent amount. Manor Lords is a really fun game. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just missed that. Manor Lords is fun. That's like a city planner builder kind of thing. Oh my gosh, just the spell cooldowns are so long. That's like a medieval city builder kind of thing that you got going on. That's a lot of fun. Almost like a medieval Sim City. Ooh, he's got to go back. I still play to this day a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, which I just love Roller Coaster Tycoon. Then on top of that, I play Planet Coaster, which is like a more in-depth Roller Coaster Tycoon. Super good game, Planet Coaster. Then we got Planet Zoo. I don't know if I said that. What else do I play? I play World of Warcraft a lot. Retail and classic. Then I play. Oh Jesus, things hitting me. Damn. World of Warcraft Classic. Then I play. I just don't get to game that much really anymore. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for us to find a way to come back at this point. I do need to get back in my Red Dead Redemption though. That's such a cool freaking game. It's so in depth. It's got so much stuff you can do. This tower is definitely about to fall. Been a hot minute since playing WoW. It's one of those games where even though it's got plenty of faults at this point, I just kind of play it. Even though it kind of just sucks, to be honest. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Oh no! Miss Fortune is just too strong already. That's crazy. Your chat is full of Aussies today. I know, that's pretty crazy how many Aussies listen to Americans narrate creepypastas. Honestly, I can't. I just want to surrender this fucking match. This is insane. But you can't surrender until at least the 15-minute mark. I feel that way about Diablo 4. I can just never get into dungeon crawlers like that. I wish I could, but I just don't like that feel. And then, Diablo has that just insane cash shop to where I'm like, I can't play a game that has a cash shop. Dang, man. Who's got the kills on our team? Okay, Katarina. Look at that. We got a kill. Yay! I love grinding games. Was hooked on Dauntless until Epic screwed it. Man, it really sucks when you get a developer that comes in and just ruins a good game like that. Yeah, look, I can't even buy my boots yet. You know, that's one of the things I like about classic WoW is I do like grindy games. Like I like that in classic WoW, you know, it takes you forever to hit max level. I actually like that aspect. And you know, there's something just kind of relaxing too about just playing a game where you just sit there and you know, kill, you know, I don't know, 500 things over and over and over. Never surrender. Yeah, I mean, it's just looking rough. I mean, we definitely could still win this, but geez, they just do so much damage now already this early on. All right, let's see. I mean, their Pantheon and their Misfortune have so many kills. Gosh, she's level 10. I'm level 8. What the hell am I? What the hell have I been doing? Bro, we had that. We did not. I don't know. I think we did. Oh, Minecraft. I've played the hell out of Minecraft. I can't believe I forgot. I played Minecraft I've been playing Minecraft since like ninth grade or some shit. Like since I've been playing Minecraft since it was an alpha. Man, she's gonna come in here and take all my gold too. Come on. Yeah, Sarah Davies. We only do this for the first like 20 to 30 minutes of stream while the audience funnels in. Damn, we only have 4 people watching right now. That's rough. I need some gold. Oh boy, don't kill me. Gosh, I'm level 9. Alright, at least I got a sightstone, got my boots. Let's see, maybe we'll build a Sunfire cape this time around. You know, I love any kind of games that you build stuff. I love simulation games, you know, The Sims, all that kind of stuff. I really enjoy, I really enjoy those kind of things. Minecraft is just awesome. I don't know how you could not like Minecraft, honestly. I love building stuff like that. I think it's so much fun. I mean, it's a purely creative kind of game, which I really enjoy. Create a live of Aussies for you. Do Aussies like American accents? Like, because I feel like it's usually Americans that like Aussie accents. Americans love British the most, but yeah, Aussies are great. Oh man, I want this match to just be over now. What is he teleporting down here for? Gosh, bro, he's level 13. I don't like our accent. Oh, yes, very much. That's so weird. I feel like American accents. I mean, I guess everyone thinks that their accent is plain, but I feel like American accents are just so boring, so plain. Especially if you get a good old country accent in there. Then it's like, what the hell is he talking like? I cannot picture American accents being like actually like something that sounds nice to listen to. I guess it just you picture your own accent as being neutral, pretty much. Yeah, but we think the same about Aussie accents. I get asked what part of England I'm from, and there are some Australian accents that are pretty. It's just the same thing. There's some Australian accents that sound British, and there's some British accents that sound Australian. It kind of just I guess it just all depends on what part you're from. Damn, they got us. Ooh, man, good thing I put that ward there. That was crazy. Ah, she killed it. Come on. Oh shit. Man, I mean, I'm not playing the best, but some of the teammates on here are a little rough. Ezreal's got 3 kills. We had a hard time in bottom lane though. The bottom lane was pretty tough to come by. All right, where to next? I guess we can go bottom. They speak so slow in South Australia. Hey, Manic, what's up, Jerry? Good to see you. Oh, come on. Oh gosh, I'm dead. Wow. Please surrender, please. I bet it's not gonna pass. There's always some son of a bitch that doesn't want to surrender. My partner is from North Carolina, and I'm a sucker for that accent. Oh, okay. Like, someone didn't press yes. We're gonna lose, guys. Come, I hate when people do this shit. They want to just drag a fucking match out for a whole hour. And it's like, look, we just killed their entire team, but there's nothing we can do about it because all their minions are in our base. We have to go all the way down there, and that's just not going to happen. I don't even have any, like, legendary or late game items or anything. Ah, I didn't even get the biggest one. Warwick's definitely going to die. Yes. Ooh, come on. What's going to happen? Someone get Rise. There we go. Thank you. I'm missing all the action, too. See, I knew they were going to engage. What are you doing, bro? This guy's going to die. Gosh, he's level 17. I'm 4 levels behind. Obvious. Oh yeah. LOL lullaby. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right, now I can at least buy a real item. It's rough when you're just this far behind. And you know, I wanted to surrender. It's one of those things where we can win. It's just going to take like you're going to drag this out to like a 45 to 50-minute match at that point. I don't even know where the action is. What's going on? All right, now, you know, I roamed a little bit. Let's go ahead and stick with the crew. If y'all are joining in for the live stream, don't worry. We are going to actually read. The moment I'm done this match, we'll actually get into oh great, they just slayed the Baron dragon over there. We'll actually get into the reading hopefully in like 20 minutes if people in this would just quit already. Bro, why would you engage? Why? Watch the vote not pass again. tried to salvage it. So you 1v5'd their whole team? It's just so dumb. All right, thank you. All right, we can get to reading. All right, that game was trash. Sorry y'all had to witness that. But you know what? Before I get out of this game, let me go ahead and buy Blitzcrank real quick. Nice. All right. We will exit out of this for a little bit. Let's go ahead to bum-ba-da-dum. All right. Which ones are we going to read? This one, yeah, I thought this one looked good. Oh yeah, all right, I finished that. Here's another member video. Okay, well, you know what? Let me just, yeah, let's. First things first, we got to go ahead and get Audacity set up. And if I decide to go late tonight, I will, let's see. Let's do. All right, now we can exit out of that. I hope everyone starts feeling better. That's rough. Here, give me a minute here, guys. I'm going to. It's so annoying that, I can only do it on my phone, so I got to go ahead, switch over to my phone, then go to my own live stream, then click on the live stream to set the goal. It's so annoying. Oh, sweet. We got all right, there's 13 people in here, right on time for the live reading. So for people who have, we only had a few people in here earlier, but tonight is going to be, hopefully we get through like 4, 5, 6 stories, depending on how much chatting we do and whatnot, and how many breaks I take. But let's see. We are going to be reading member-only videos tonight. So if you make it to the live stream tonight, you get to hear a member-only video. A member-only and a Patreon video. All right, so I might need to take my contacts out soon. All right, let's size all of this correctly. I think we'll start with my friends tried to summon a succubus. This sounds like it's a kind of a goofy one. And then, I hope so at least. All right. Oh yeah. Let me go ahead and get the background music in here too. All right, and we will go probably for at least 2 hours tonight, like normal. I mean, I like to normally do 3 or 4 now, but we'll go at least 2 hours. Thank you so much, Lullaby. Thank you. It'll be $7.99. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Rogue. Thank you for the 5. Thank you so, man. We might hit this. We might hit the goal right away. So yeah, the goal will be normal. It'll be if we hit $25, I'll go at least an extra hour. We're gonna go till at least 9 tonight, and if we hit the goal, we'll go to probably 10. That's what I have in mind. I would like to go to 10 anyways, but it depends if my wife needs me when she gets home for baby stuff and whatnot. But I think she'll put the baby to sleep at like 9 o'clock. Okay. I know I wish I got something recorded. I wanted to get something recorded earlier today, but me and baby girl were just downstairs all day. And I wanted to get something recorded so I could play that for y'all while I take a break, but we'll see. Welcome. That's from Allie and I. Thank you so much. All right, let's start with my friends tried to summon me, tried to sacrifice me to summon a succubus, and well, we summoned something. All right, I like the title of that. I don't know the characters. I don't know if even this is a male or a female. Sometimes 02321 writes from female quite a bit, so we'll see. In high school, I was a loner. Back in those days, I only had one friend. Our friendship had started early in life, and because of our weird quirks, we only had each other during those rough 4 years. Since this happened a while ago, I feel safe finally writing down this story. My friend Jay doesn't even seem to remember any of it, which I'm rather thankful for. We've kept in contact, but after school, alright, so bear with me here. 02321 is an awesome author, but boy, oh boy, do I really wish that they would proofread their stories a little bit more. I read one, it was a member video from yesterday's member video, the bar for monsters, and there were just so many typos. And typos I can deal with, but like words that make no sense, or it's supposed to say does, but it says doesn't, and it's like it changes the whole thing, changes the whole flow. There's a lot of that in the 02321 stories, unfortunately. All right, I gotta resize. Okay, there we go. Is that right? Cool. What is all that background noise? Let me, there we go. Okay, it's gone. Which I'm rather thankful for. Playback device. Thank you so much. Another $7.99. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lullaby. That is just so cool to me. I remember my first super chat. It's crazy, and then getting like the first super thanks on a video. I can't believe, like my brain can't believe that someone would pay me money to read stories on the internet. So it's every single time I'm just incredibly humbled. All right, where are we at? I'm rather thankful for. But okay, wait. We've kept in contact, but after school have gone different ways in life. Yeah, okay, yeah. Like, it should say, but after school, we went different ways in life, But after, a lot of the flow just doesn't flow very well, you know what I'm saying? But, which I'm rather thankful for. We've kept in contact, but after school, we've went different ways in life. I check up on his social media accounts, and it looks like he's doing well. He turned into a well-adjusted member of society. I think I can forgive him for almost letting me get killed all those years ago. Jay lived a few houses down from my place. We walked to school every day. We would have walked home together as well, but I had a part-time job most nights. My mother supported us on her own. Picking up a few work hours to buy myself school supplies was the least I could do. Most nights I spent at my job or trying to catch up on homework. On Sundays, on Sundays, comma, you're supposed to be a comma there. I spent at my job. Sorry, y'all are going to hear me complain a lot. It's super, because also it makes me look like an idiot when I'm reading this live. It's like, Kevin can't read, and it's like, I can read great. The grammatical structure, sentence structure isn't there. I spent at my job or trying to catch up on homework. On Sundays, Jay and I would play our own role-playing games that started off as D&D, but over the years turned into something with rules, lore, and NPCs only we understood. I was rather happy in those days, daydreaming about new adventures for our characters to go on Sunday nights. I looked forward to it the entire week. I really didn't have time for other friends or much else besides my job. Okay, that was my fault. I looked forward to it the entire week. I really didn't have much time for other friends or much else besides my job, schoolwork, and our storylines. For the first 3 years, I thought Jay was happy too. I noticed his plots and ideas for our roleplay started to get darker, and soon I found myself passing on suggestions to add in some sexy NPCs that only existed to be rescued. And no, his character could not build a harem. He seemed annoyed by my refusals, but never really forced the ideas. Because I was so busy after school, Jay started to drift away. He eventually found someone who would humor his weird tastes. At first, I was glad to see Jay so happy and finally making a new friend. He was so awkward, I was worried he would go the full 4 years only having me for company. But very soon, I started to get a bad feeling from who Jay befriended. Jay introduced me to all that mouth noise right there. Also, what is all this background noise? There's nothing loud going on in the house. Started to get a bad feeling from who Jay befriended. Jay introduced me to Mike, and started to get a bad feeling from who Jay befriended. Jay introduced me to Mike, and we all had the same common nerdy interests. The more time I spent with Mike, the more I didn't like him. He liked to make nasty comments for attention. He was always ready to be challenged. He was always ready to challenge people. Come on. He was always ready to challenge people to get into some sort of debate. He was openly a creep to any of our female classmates, and I do believe he got a 3-day suspension for wearing an anime hoodie with very questionable faces printed on it. I did not like Mike at all, but Jay did act happier around his new friend. I decided to go against all the red flags about Mike. When they both invited me over to Mike's place on a rare Saturday I had free, I went. The plan was to stay over to play video games all night. I was going to give them both this one chance. If Mike was too unbearable, I would ditch him. I hoped he would be better if it was the 3 of us. Maybe the attention-seeking and awful sex-focused comments would be toned down. Aside from literally giving all the warning signs, I had really started to worry about Jay getting so hung up about not having a girlfriend yet. I always told him it wasn't a big deal. You didn't need to hook up with someone in high school just for the sake of hooking up. The right person would come at the right time. He never listened. The more time he spent with Mike, the more bitter they both became towards girls not giving them the time of day. I really should have stayed home that night, but I guess we've all done dumb stuff in our teen years. The start of the night wasn't terrible. Not pleasant, but not as bad as I thought it would be. Just 3 guys hanging out trying to beat each other in random fighter games. It had gotten late and we ran out of soda to drink. I asked Mike if there was anything left or if he wanted me to walk down to the corner store and buy some more. I knew it would still be open. At that time, I didn't know why Mike looked a little worried when I offered to leave. No, it's fine. We have some in the basement. We have a fridge down there for junk and stuff, Mike quickly said while Jay was nodding. I felt odd. They were both just standing there looking at me, as if they had something planned. Can you come down to the basement and help me carry up some? The light broke, so it's dark. Jay would need to sneak down, jump out of something. Maybe a prank to film to put online later. All right, I'll help. That didn't even make sense. Like, I don't even know what the hell that paragraph meant. All right, I'll help. Whatever, let them scare me. If that's the worst they had planned for the night, I was cool with it. In fact, I wanted to see how they planned to spook me. I followed Mike and Jay stayed behind. Just as I thought, we carefully started down wooden creaking steps. It was so dark I kept one hand on the railing and the other one along the wall so I wouldn't get lost. I thought it would smell dank or musty, but it smelled sharp. Like fresh paint. That was weird. I still wasn't worried or questioning anything. I followed the sounds of Mike's footsteps through darkness. I took small half steps to avoid bumping into anything in the dark. I paused when I no longer heard Mike and was completely blind. The stairs took a sharp corner coming down so the light from upstairs didn't reach far. I had already walked far enough to be lost. "Mike," I called out, wondering what the hell their deal was. Hey guys, give me like 2 minutes. My eyes are so dry from the contacts, I can barely keep them open. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me get situated. Called out, wondering what the hell their deal was. If they were gonna scare me, go ahead and do it already. I called his name out once more before my world exploded into stars and pain. The bastard had hit me across the head with something hard. I was out cold from it. I awoke, head throbbing. My mouth felt dry and the room was spinning. It took me a while to recover enough to see what the hell was going on. I had to keep one eye closed from the pain. The entire basement was full of candles. Even the soft light was too bright for me. I tried to move my arm but found it stuck. Both my legs were stuck as well. With a few more minutes, I was fine enough to look down. If you've just tuned in, this is the sound of silence. That's right. Let's see. I really want to know what that background noise is. Kind of pissing me off. It's like every time I move the mic, it gets a little better, then it gets a little worse. With a few more minutes, I was fine enough to look down. I was taped to a chair. Fresh red spray paint was underneath my feet. I followed the lines and groaned when I saw what it was. I thought Mike was a dumbass, but I didn't take him for a dumbass who believed in the occult. If you believe in ghosts and spirits, all the power to you. But when you painted a pentagram in the cement floor of your basement and lured a classmate down there to do who knows what with, then, well, you have a problem. On the other side of the poorly drawn pentagram, Mike and Jay stood wearing dark robes. Another figure stood against the back wall, most hidden by the weird sentence structure. Mike and Jay stood wearing dark robes. Another figure stood against the back wall, hidden mostly by the darkness. I had no idea who else had got in on their stupid plan. So I don't know what I would be if I can't talk. I don't even know what I would be offended by, Rogue. Idea who else they got in on their stupid plan. Where is the idea who else they got in on their stupid plan? Be honored, pitiful human, Mike said in a very poor dramatic voice, and he said, fuck. in a very poor dramatic voice handout. What the fuck does that even mean? Oh, he means hand out, like gesturing out. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you write it like that? Be honored, pitiful human, Mike said in a very poor dramatic voice. You have been chosen to... Guys, please, this is really stupid. Just let me go and I won't tell anyone. I'll just... Silence. Mike did not appreciate me butting in. He shouted, hands raised and shaken. Mike did not appreciate me butting in. He shouted, hands raised and shaking. It was honestly pretty awkward. I know he just smashed something against my head, but in that moment I wasn't at all scared of him. I found him just sad. The fear spiked through my body just a little after he fumbled inside his robes to pull out a kitchen knife. This was getting ridiculous. Jay, stop him, I croaked out. They had wrapped a lot of tape around my wrist and ankles. There was some give, but I couldn't get myself free. I really didn't want to believe this was happening, that I was taped to a chair in a schoolmate's basement about to be a sacrifice to a lame ritual. I was going to die for no reason. I had cut off Mike speaking, so I didn't even know what this ritual was for. I kept looking up, and in the darkness I saw the other figure. They were so still, I was starting to think that it was just a spare robe hung up on the wall. I couldn't imagine that Mike could get a second person in on this. I desperately wanted the whole thing to be a joke, and some sort of payback for not hanging out with Jay enough. When Mike stopped in front of me, I could tell by the look in his eyes this wasn't a joke at all. He brought the knife closer to me. I was sweating and felt like I was going to puke. I did the only thing I could think of in that moment. When his hand was close enough, I took a bite out of it. Mike screamed, shaking his hand free. I had drawn a bit of blood and he dropped the knife. Clutching his hand as blood dripped onto the ground, he looked at me with shock, then fury. This was not according to plan and he was pissed. He wanted me scared and begging for my life, not fighting back. Snatching up the knife again, I got ready for his next move. Jay was frozen to the spot. His hands raised as if he wanted to say something, to stop the whole thing, but was too much of a coward to stand up to Mike. To my confusion, the robed figure in the darkness behind him started to move. They walked past him toward us. Jay didn't even look at them. That's enough, an unfamiliar voice. See, but now I gotta read forward. Is that a female voice or a male? It's probably the succubus, so it's probably a female voice, but let me read ahead. All right, I'm gonna do it in a female voice. Toward us. Jay didn't even look at. Where is that line? There we go. Toward us. Jay didn't even look at them. That's enough. An unfamiliar voice came from the figure. With one swift strike, they had knocked Mike to the ground. Being as large as he was, it was a feat of strength. I heard Jay gasp as he took a few steps back. Mike dropped his knife when he had been knocked aside. He looked up at the figure, very hurt and confused. Who the hell are you? Oh, don't worry about that, Jerry. Who the hell are you? Wait, this person wasn't with them? Then why did they wait until now to help? How come they didn't stop this whole thing before I got knocked upside the head? I felt a little better, but was glad for the hope of rescue. The figure pushed the hood back, revealing bright red messy hair. A shade of red you can only get through dye. I couldn't tell their gender from their sharp face. I let out a small inhale when I saw that the right side of their lips were torn and scarred, making them look like they had a grim smile. Listen, kiddos, I don't give a shit if you kill your little friend, but doing a ritual like this is a problem. I mean, really? Have you ever had a smart thought go through your head before? All you have is spilling of virgin, lol. All you have is spilling of virgin blood and some summoning words like Ultras Various. You don't even have a name of the demon you're summoning. Without that, you'll bring any creature forward, and you can see how that's a very bad idea. It's people like you, which is how every endless creature got onto this world years ago and nearly ended everything. I wasn't even the target of the lecture, but even I felt the second-hand guilt over how stupid they were being. I didn't even believe in demons or summoning, but I would side with this stranger. On the very small chance of supernatural stuff being real, you don't want to mess around with it if you don't actually know what you're doing. Could you? I started to ask if I could get some help to get the hell out of there. We know what we're doing, and you didn't say the right word before. You didn't say the word right for being a. If I could get some help to get the hell out of there. We know what we're doing, and you didn't say the word right for being a smartass. It's Alertus Virus. Word right for being a smartass. It's it's fucking me up. Alertus. It's Alertus. It's such a weird assortment of letters. Out of there. We know what we're doing, and you didn't even say the word right for being a smartass. It's Alertus Virus, Mike shouted from where he was knocked aside. He honestly didn't say the words any differently aside from putting more spirit into saying them. We're summoning a succubus. We have a name with a demon, so get the hell out of my basement. Mike, please, maybe we should stop all of this? We have a witness after all, Jay said meekly, trying to get everything calmed down. Oh? You think I'm not saying them? Oh, that's the female, Jay said meekly, trying to get everything calmed down. Oh? You think I'm not saying them correctly? You piece of human trash. My kind made up those words. They don't mean anything. They just plucked out anything that sounded nice and bonded them to a summoning, you dumb shit. You could sneeze Alertus Virus and it would still count. The stranger was shouting, getting heated. I was starting to wonder if this was some sort of really heavily involved roleplay Jay and Mike had someone else in on. Because this had to be a joke, right? This person thought they weren't human. Aside from the unnatural hair that could easily be explained, they looked as human as the rest of us. I started to try and get my arm free, knowing that I wouldn't get any help from the others. I almost felt it wiggle free when I looked down at the summoning pentagram Mike had painted and wondered if there was any paint you could buy that glowed, because the red paint was in fact glowing. I was the first to notice, but soon everyone else had looked down to see the source of the dim light. Jay had started to go over to Mike to help him up. Everyone froze when the glowing appeared. The stranger's foot came... I said that funny. The stranger's foot came out from under the robe and started to smudge the blood that had dripped from Mike's hand. They were wearing a pair of black high heels, so I figured they were a girl. The glowing was starting to get bright as the red head looked over at Mike and his bloody hand. You're trying to summon a succubus because you're both virgins, right? She didn't sound impressed at all. It sank in. All they needed was virgin blood and to say the summoning words. I guess you had to repeat the words 3 times, and between their banter they had. No one had time to reply. A sudden explosion of air knocked us all off the glowing summoning area. I hit the wall very painfully. The wooden chair I had been taped to must have been old because it broke into pieces by the force of slamming into the wall. The stranger was thrown across the basement and sent into a chest freezer. Mike and Jay were tossed towards the area near the stairs. A bone-chilling roar sounded as a top half of a creature rose from the floor. It wasn't the succubus, that much was certain. Its head almost looked like a dog. Massive horns lined its jawline. Heat came from the monster that was slowly clawing... Oh, I hit my mic. Massive horns lined its jawline. Heat came from the monster that was slowing, like another typo. Massive horns lined its jawline. Heat came from the monster that was slowly clawing its way out of the ground. Dark fur acting like a mane. One clawed front leg came out, then another. The thing was far too big for the basement. We would all be crushed if it came out entirely. I couldn't do anything because of my pounding head and utter disbelief of what I was seeing. Mike was getting a little bit braver, or he snapped. He stood up laughing, arms stretched out again. "Behold, I am your master. Now," the creature didn't give time to let him speak. It knocked Mike aside with his powerful claws. Blood splashed across the basement and Jay screamed. We all knew Mike was dead before he even hit the other wall. It turned its head towards the screaming Jay. I opened my mouth, wanting to stop what was going on to happen, but couldn't even let it squeak. With one swift movement, Jay was swallowed whole. The next few seconds, the world came crashing around me. Literally. The beast tore through the floor and shot up into the ceiling. Debris crashed down, and by some miracle I didn't get hit. I was off against an all-out... What the fuck? I was off against an all and out of the way of the worst of it. Y'all hear that sentence? What's he trying to say? I don't even know what this is supposed to mean. I was off against an all and out of the way of worst of it. Like, my brain can't even compute what that was, so I'm just going to skip the whole thing. He crashed down, and by some miracle I didn't get hit. The dust didn't even settle when the stranger yelled in mad fury and started to make her way over to the ruined... Fuck, I gotta redo that whole sentence. He crashed down, and by some miracle I didn't get hit. The dust didn't even settle when the stranger yelled in mad fury and started to make her way over to the ruined middle of the floor. That's also a funny, weird... I gotta say that sentence because it was just weird. Didn't even settle when the stranger yelled in mad fury and started to make her way over to the ruined middle of the floor. She kicked aside hunks of ceiling, coughing while looking so angry I was almost more scared of her than the creature that had just shot up through the ceiling and, by the sound of things, out through the house. I had been able to pry myself from the chair pieces. A leg was still taped to my ankle. "What?" she screeched, causing me to press myself against the wall. Her face was twisted in a red fury. I could feel heat coming from her, and in that moment, I knew she wasn't human. She hadn't been concerned about Mike killing me, but I still felt like I needed to at least try asking for her help. This author writes awesome stories, but boy, the typos are rough. "Are you strong enough to kill that thing?" I asked, going out on a limb. She looked angry, so I kept talking, trying to get to my point before she stopped me. "Jay is my best friend. He was just eaten by that thing. You see, his little brother disappeared when they were 3 or 4. His parents can't take another kid missing, so please, get a part of his body from his stomach or any proof he's dead." God, that's twisted. I didn't think she could even listen, but her face softened a little. "I don't work for free. I'll be able to ask... Oh, that's kind of like the bar story. I'll be able to ask anything of you for this favor." I don't know if it was because of the sudden crazy situation, or if I just became numb to everything. I didn't think of the repercussions of this deal. I just nodded. I stood, my entire body in pain, and trying to figure out how to get out of the ruined basement. The stairs had been damaged and collapsed. It was really a miracle I was still alive. The stranger walked over gracefully over to the... on top of the... That's my fault. It was really a miracle. It was really a miracle I was still alive. The stranger walked over gracefully on top of the rubble in those heels of hers and lifted me onto her shoulder without me being able to stop her. She was pretty strong for how skinny she was. I felt a lurch in my stomach. She had easily jumped out of the basement and onto the first floor. She made a mishmash my words. She made a mad dash to follow the path of destruction to find the creature. We found it in the middle of the road, knocking parked cars aside. I was tossed aside onto the lawn, and she ran forwards with no fear of what she was facing. The thing was huge. I wondered why no one had come outside their place to see what was going on. All the houses looked dark and empty as a monster roared and swung a massive tail around, knocking aside trees. I had no idea how she was going to be able to beat this thing. It was at least 10 times her size. Kicking off her heels and tossing off the dirty and torn robes, she had no hesitation leaping up to kick the creature under one of its red eyes. I heard a sickening crack as it roared in pain and stumbled sideways. I had no idea who she was, but it was clear she was strong. I had a brief ray of hope before everything came crashing down. That huge mouth opened again, rows and rows of white sharp teeth. She didn't even have time to move before it came down on her, swallowing her whole the same way it ate Jay. I sat on the grass, mind blank, not wanting to believe what had just happened. I just stared as the creature started back down the road, tearing into cars in its path. I felt tears start to come to my eyes. I had completely given up in that moment. I wanted this whole thing to be a bad dream. If that thing turned around to come and eat me too, I would let it. I just wanted this all to end. Suddenly, the creature started to roar and screech in pain. I jumped and tensed up at the sound. My jaw dropped as I watched it fall to its side, legs flailing, tail thrashing. The sounds of pain were deafening and the worst thing I had ever heard in my life. The monster's stomach suddenly burst open, spilled gore. The monster's stomach suddenly... were deafening and the worst thing I had ever heard in my life. The monster's stomach suddenly burst open and spilled gore, and to my shock, a tall red-headed girl with my friend under her arm. I had no idea how she did it. Only that she had gotten them out of the stomach of the beast. The thing stopped moving a few seconds after its stomach had been ripped open. My legs started to move, and I found myself racing over to see if she was all right. Aside from being covered in God knows what, and annoyed that she looked fine, fuck that sentence, that's my fault. Let's see. Aside from being covered in God knows what, and annoyed, she looked fine. Jay was whole, but not breathing. She set him down, and I skidded to a stop. I took my friend in my arms, completely forgiving him for everything that had happened. The tears came in silent sobs. I've been doing lots of overtime in the factory. I'm bone tired. Hey, what's up, Dubak? What do you do? I know around where I live, the main factories they got are like Philip Morris, the Nabisco factory. I think they got a couple paper mills, about a couple in an hour or two, hour and a half out east. The tears came in silent sobs. Feeling a sudden burst of heat, I looked over to where it was coming from. The heat was warping the surrounding area of my savior. The gore and stomach fluids were burning off her skin and clothing that apparently was heat-proof. Anything that didn't get burned away why did I say that funny? Anything that didn't get burned away dried. It smelled awful, but I guess it was better than being covered in slimy gunk. I'm a fire-based creature, she explained, and directed her eyes to Jay in my arms. Shouldn't you be doing CPR? Mouth open, I looked at her. I didn't even consider that Jay could still be saved, but he had only been in the monster's stomach for a few minutes. Gasping, I set him down and was suddenly very thankful for the mandatory yearly first aid classes. It was a miracle Jay started to cough and sputter a few minutes after. Jay was in such a state of shock he just sat up, clutching his knees to his chest, and started to rock. I didn't blame him at all. When I knew he was all right as he could be in such a situation, I went over to the one who saved him. She was waiting and had collected her high heels. Thank you, Miss... Jake. And you're very welcome. Now, I wonder what I should ask ask you for payment for them. Okay, yeah. Now, it also, remind me, guys, is this the same creature that was in the bar story, the member story I put out yesterday? I think it is. Jake, and you're very welcome. Now, I wonder what I should ask you for payment for this. I did get your little friend back. I wonder. Maybe your teeth? I like human teeth. Or perhaps... Rogue, what? How the hell did Jay get into the monster's gut? I was wondering the same thing. I was like, maybe I just glossed over it because I get on autopilot sometimes. But I don't even remember in the story where the monster ate Jay. Maybe, I wasn't going to say it because I was like, oh, I'm sure it probably happened. I was like, I'm sure it probably said it and I just forgot. And I was like, I'm not going to say it. But maybe y'all can answer me that too. I don't remember it. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm wondering the same thing, Rogue. Cabinet factory. I run the machine that makes drawer box parts. That's cool. I'm always amazed. I still do. But growing up, I would always put on How It's Made. And you just see like, it's crazy, like, what robots and factories do. Like, you get a robot that only slices the bananas, and then a robot that only peels, and then a robot that slaps the stickers on, or, like, it's just insane, all the stuff that goes on in the making stuff. Or perhaps, to my stress, she started to list off a great deal that I couldn't live without. I don't know if she was just saying things to scare me, but it was working. I want your sweater, Jake finally said, and I couldn't help but do a double take at her. I was wearing a band hoodie. The band was no longer together, making it a collector's item, but they had never been that big. I'd never come across anyone who knew who they were, let alone like my sweater. Jake looked down at me. Fuck, where the hell am I? There I am, okay. Jake looked down at me, a smug grin on her face. I guess I could give up the sweater considering what else you could ask for. It had a weird throat sound. Face. Knew who they were, let alone like my sweater. Jake looked down at me, a smug grin on her face. I guess I could give up the sweater considering what else she could ask for. The moment I handed it over, she tossed it on and took a deep, creepy inhale to smell it. What a nasty human smell. I don't get stuff like this often. Anyway, I came out pretty good, so I'm letting you off easy. That monster your dumb friend summoned is good to chop up and make love potions and the like with. Like, what are they? Rhinos? How their horns are used to make medicine for old dudes to get it up? Yeah, it's like that. That thing got summoned, that did get summoned, is a sex demon because its parts is used to make sex-related medicine. It's worth a lot. Because I killed it, it's mine. Get it? Oh man, I love that show. Used to watch it all the time with my dad. And me and you too. Me and you, and me and my dad both, man. And you know what's funny is I remember seeing this little meme GIF on Facebook, whatever, like years ago. And it was like, I would be one of the people that would actually sit on the couch and watch How It's Made. But the meme went something like, when your dad or your friend walks in the room, and stands and, rests on the wall, and when How It's Made comes on, someone walks by, it catches their attention, and then they stand there for 15 minutes watching the whole episode, thinking that they were just going to walk by, but then they get enraptured by it, so they can't leave, but they don't want to sit down, but they'll just stand and watch it. Because I killed it, it's mine. Get it? I looked between Jake and the dead creature in the road. I almost wanted to laugh at the idea of it all. Instead, I just nodded and felt the tears coming again. I couldn't hold myself together after everything. Jake gave me an awkward pity pat on the shoulder and started to walk away from me. I hope we never see each other again. Have a nice nap. I didn't have time to figure out what she meant before everything went black. I woke up in the hospital. I had an officer explain to me that Mike was dead and Jay was in shock. According to him, a drunk driver had come down the street and crashed into his house. The car went through the house and into the basement after the floor gave in. Mike was the only one killed, and by some miracle we lived. I didn't correct him or ask him about any of the occult stuff in the basement. My injuries could easily be explained by the accident and what I remembered to be a weird dream because I was in a coma for a few days. I really wanted to believe that was the case. The only thing that made that... I hate when I'm like at the end of a story and I almost finish like the whole like last paragraph or the whole last page without any mistakes, and then I mess up on the last sentence. I really wanted to believe that was the case. The only thing that made me slightly question if it was a dream or not is I'm missing my favorite band sweater. Alright, that was a good story. It was full of typos, but that was a good story. I liked it. Alright, let's go ahead. This will be a pretty long member story, 24 minutes long. My friends sacrifice succubus. There we go. That's all you need. Alright, what else do we got? Monster I carried out of the woods. And what that's about, is that about the same? That's a little bit shorter. A lullaby. Thank you. $7.99. That is freaking awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. What do we got going here? Okay, we got that. I love how cool the creepypasta community is. Everybody in this community is so cool, so nice. Make sure you always have fun at the fair. Oh, that's a decent. That's about a 25-minute one. A sad letter from a demon to whoever may find it. Oh, wait, yeah. I haven't talked to that author yet, but I saved it, though. I'm aiming for that extra hour and avoiding leaving my house. There you go. There you go. People out there are weird. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. I'm getting tired, guys. I don't know. I only slept for like 5 hours. And, geez, it's really sucky. Like, so, the doctors say that my heart's fine and everything. And I hope that's true, but for those of you who don't know, I went to the, emergency room 2 Februaries ago because I thought I was having a heart attack. I wasn't, but I was just getting a whole bunch of PVCs or heart palpitations out of nowhere. Lullaby $7.99. Thank you. I'm definitely gonna try to truck on to that for that extra hour. And are you? I don't think you're I don't see you as a member of Lullaby. So if I don't make the extra hour, I will play some recorded that have already been out, but maybe you haven't heard them yet. So I'll play maybe a series of member videos that hasn't come out yet too. I can do that. But I thought I was having just PVCs and heart palpitations, out of nowhere one night, and then I called the 911, went to the hospital and everything, and then an ambulance and stuff, and I don't know. Ever since then, a year and a half ago, I just get palpitations and stuff, and they suck. They're annoying. They freak you out. But uh, I get super, and it comes and goes. Sometimes for months, I don't think about it, but then maybe a month. I've never had anxiety in my whole life. I'm not on here. I'm a member of Patreon. That's awesome. Thank you. Um, but I get basically every time I go to sleep, I think I'm just gonna die. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack in my sleep. And that freaks me out. So sometimes at night, it's really hard for me to go to sleep because I'll just lay in bed thinking about my heart and thinking I'm just gonna have a heart attack in my sleep. And then I'll just be laying there and laying there and laying. And then it can take like 2 hours to fall asleep sometimes. And last night was like that. I went to bed at like 1, but I didn't fall asleep till like 3. Because I'm just in there thinking like, oh, am I going to die tonight? Like, it's ridiculous. All right, which one? All right, let's start with, let's do, make sure you always have fun at the fair. Yeah, the palpitations are just. I actually got it was a basic stress test, but I did a stress test at the hospital last Wednesday, I think. And it was just a stress test where they just put an EKG on you and just looks at your heart rhythm while you get your heart rate up pretty high. Hopefully that the results come back fine on that. I should know soon. Make sure you always have fun at the fair. No, I didn't know that. I guess that's what that story is that what the Telltale Heart was about? Yeah, it sucks because I'm hyper aware of my heartbeat. So like I feel my heartbeat all the time. Even when I'm just like laying on the couch, just sitting, just chilling. I can feel my heartbeat consciously. And then when I'm in bed, it's even worse. When I'm in bed and I'm relaxed, I feel it. The thunk, the thunk, the thunk, the thunk. And it'll mess up right there. I'm like, oh my gosh, it'll mess up, and I'm like freaking out. Can we help choose the thumbnail for this story? I think we can do that. I think we can work something out. Maybe for any one of these tonight, we might do the thumbnail generation stuff tonight. Every year, a fair comes to my town. It wasn't a thing I really went to often. I always heard about my friends or family going, but I stayed home not overly interested. Recently, they've fused a comic book convention with the fair. People wearing costumes with capes and going on rides seem like a safety hazard if you ask me. No matter how hard I tried to get excited over the idea of it, or getting invited to go down to the fair, I just never bothered going. And yet, I found myself sitting at a table listening to the sounds of the rides, a bit hazy on. What? There needs to be a comma there. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. There's nothing more frustrating than reading and then having to reread a whole sentence because, like, one comma's not there. I just never bothered going. And yet, I found myself sitting at a table listening to the sounds of the rides, a bit hazy on how I got there or why. A small set of tickets for the rides in my pockets and smells of deep fried food. I said fruit. A bit hazy on how I got there or why. A small set of tickets for the rides in my pocket and smells of deep fried food tempting me to buy something. I was sitting alone, so why did I go to the fair? I couldn't seem to remember anyone dragging me along. Yeah, Manic, but I thank you, but I don't read these beforehand, so I don't even know that they're messed up. I don't. It would just take a million years to get stuff done if I read something, sent it to you, then sent it back to me. It just wouldn't be worth the time invested. I couldn't seem to remember anyone dragging me along. A group sat down at the table next to mine. They were noisy and showing too much affection towards their partners for a family-friendly location. I was about to get up and leave to head home when I noticed someone I recognized in the group, but by himself. A guy I went to school with and I had a hard time thinking of his name. We were only 2 years out of high school and he looked exactly the same as when we last saw each other. He was in my class, but we weren't friends. I still respected him. Honestly, he was the only decent person in our class. He came from a rich family and yet he wasn't stuck up. I stood hovering at my table about to leave when his name clicked. His name was Ashley. That didn't make him any friends in school. In fact, people only tended to hang out with him to get free food or borrow cash. From the looks of it, he was with... From the looks of it, the group. From the looks of it, he was with... The group he was with was only interested in those two things. Ashley dropped off food and took orders for more. Everyone besides himself wore bracelets that you get on all rides that you get on rides all day. That got you on rides. That was my fault then. Who was with was only interested in those two things. Ashley dropped off food and took orders for more. Man, my mouth is funny today. Everyone besides himself wore bracelets that got you on rides all day. I always thought the bracelets cost far too much to really justify buying them. Without any doubt, Ashley was the one who paid for them. I watched as he did food runs, getting whatever they want. Oh my gosh, I'm about to just not read any more of this person. For them. I watched as he did food runs, getting whatever they wanted. When he finally sat down, the rest of the group were so interested in their free food, none of them even thanked him or even looked in his direction. Unable to help myself, I went over to his table. "Hey, Ashley, we went to school together. Come sit with me for a bit," I told him, and gestured towards the empty table. He looked up, unsure of what to do. His friends teased him for being picked up by a girl or asking if I was his girlfriend they didn't know he had. When he didn't answer, I gently took his hand and led him the few steps away. Alright, so this is I hate when you don't find out till a little while in, but this is from a female perspective, just so everybody, in case anybody missed it or is only listening halfway. I gently took his hand and led him the few steps away. He'd always been a pushover, a very kind guy that everyone took advantage of. I'm pretty certain he would have done anything if I had asked with enough force. We both felt awkward suddenly sitting across from each other. He was nice enough to start up a conversation first. What have you been doing?" he asked in a soft voice. "I work at a factory. Hey, how about we get you something to eat?" When I stood up, he followed. This guy bought food for all of his so-called friends and nothing for himself. We took a few minutes picking something. He only got a small order of fries, and I found a stall selling some not deep-fried chicken wraps. We both saw the deep-fried Mars bars for sale and commented on how terrible that sounded. Of course, we got one to share. His friends didn't even notice he was missing. They already got their meal and bracelets for the rides. Aside from if they wanted to play some games, they didn't need his wallet for anything else at the moment. What's up, Cisco? Let's see, guys. My wife just got home, so I'm gonna go spend. I'm gonna play the yesterday's member only video while I'm gone. It's a 20-minute video. It's a really cool story. Sorry if y'all listened to it already, I apologize, but I'm just gonna get me a quick break while I go hang out with my wife for a bit. She just got home. She works 12-hour shifts, so I haven't seen her since this morning. So I'm gonna hang out with her for 20 minutes while this video plays. Maybe get a snack so I can get something to eat and drink so I can continue on and go a little bit later this night. I've always had a bad habit of getting myself into trouble, but I've never accidentally walked headfirst into a disaster before. A group of friends invited me to a newly opened bar. Work ran late and I was the last one still on the way. The address led me downtown to an area I'd never been to before. I'd only moved to the city a year ago, so I was still finding my way around. I took the bus relying on my GPS. At some point, the signal was lost because of the large buildings. My GPS jumped around, confused about where I was. I've always had issues like this on the rare trip to the larger populated areas. Normally, I had someone with me to fill in the blanks before I got too lost. This time, my phone guided me to the wrong location. I stepped off the bus and followed the jumpy directions on the screen until it told me I arrived at my destination. In front was a small alleyway that led to a bright red door. I heard the sounds of music mixed with voices. Assuming this was the back entrance to the bar, I walked forward hoping I could go in that way. The door opened to worn wooden steps with flaking paint. If it weren't for the clear sounds of activity, I would have second-guessed myself. At the bottom was a dim, smoky room with a large wooden bar on one side. A handful of tables filled the rest of the space. Most were empty aside from a few people with their backs turned towards the door. I didn't see my friends and started to think I got the wrong place. Maybe I could ask for directions since I was here. My eyes adjusted as I walked closer to the bar. The person behind it appeared odd. This must either be a themed place or some sort of early Halloween event was happening. At first, I assumed he had some kind of hairpiece, but when he turned to face me, I stopped in my tracks, seeing his face. It appeared bright blue flowers were growing out of the left side of his face upwards, mixing with his long, mossy hair. Whatever makeup he used was very impressive. The sight of the leaves coming through the skin made me internally squirm. I started getting the attention of the others. Sweat started at the base of my neck. The others were also dressed up. Some had horns or glowing eyes. I swear I noticed a pair of realistic hooves peek out from under the table. Could you? I got cut off by a smaller person suddenly slamming into my side and hooking their arm into mine. There you are! You're late! A thin, whispery voice said. Looking down, I saw it belonged to a short person with long, gray smoke-like hair. At first, I thought it was a girl, but the loose top gave away his gender. My eyes must have been playing tricks on me. His bare feet looked to be floating off the ground for a moment, and a long lion tail flicked behind him. Barry, I'm taking my client to one of the comfort rooms. Can you ask Mitty to drop off some drinks? He asked the bartender, who nodded. I found myself getting pulled aside with strength I didn't think this guy had. I was confused, to put it lightly. He guided us up to a hallway lined with more doors. We quickly ducked inside the small room with a deep red leather couch taking up most of the space. I started to panic, wondering what on earth I got myself into. The stranger sat down, letting out a massive sigh. His face was red from embarrassment. He didn't appear threatening, but I sat beside him waiting for answers. What's going on? I finally asked after giving him a moment. I should be asking you that. How did you even get in here? He pressed, leaning forward. His voice was so light that even though he was raising it, it sounded like it could be lost in a gust of wind. I walked in here? What kind of dress-up event is going on? How does your tail work? I reached out for the tail on the couch cushion for it to be pulled away from my hand. The stranger studied my face, deciding if I was lying or not. You really don't know what kind of place you walked into? He asked cautiously. It's just a bar, I shrugged. My words proved very, very wrong after a knock came to the door. It opened a second afterward, and a set of drinks on a small silver serving tray in one of the many hands of the creature appeared. My body shrank back, the massive shape spilling through the door like liquid. It appeared to be made up of a mess of dark limbs swimming into each other. The drinks were set down on a small table, and the creature slipped away, leaving behind a strange burnt smell. I sat in shock, trying to get my heart to slow down. I was too scared to move aside from glancing to my side to see if the other person in the room was freaked out as well. When I was able, I grabbed the drink, chugging it in one go. If it was poisoned, then I wouldn't need to deal with seeing any more of those monsters. What the hell is that? Bitty. He's nicer than Mitty. Yeah, that didn't explain anything at all. What about you? I said when I realized we never introduced ourselves. I'm Wisp. He awkwardly held out his hand for me to shake. Joey, I said, feeling odd that a simple handshake calmed me down a little. I stood trying to pace around the room, attempting to make sense of all of this. What's even going on? I mean, that was a monster. Things like that aren't real. How can they be without people knowing about it? Do you really want the long, complicated answer you might not understand or the simple one? Simple. Magic, he shrugged. I let myself sink back down onto the couch with my head swimming. Okay, sure, whatever. Monsters and magic were real. That didn't help me out right then. I needed to get out of there. I'm sorry this happened. Normally humans can't enter this place. I'm not sure if it was by accident you were able to enter here, or it was on purpose to lure in an unaware male by the bar owner. He looked distraught over the mix-up. I had the feeling no one would expect Wisp to step up and help an unsuspecting human. He saved my life by some very quick thinking. Can I just wait a few minutes and leave? Wisp shook his head, his hair moving slowly as if underwater. Maybe. There's a chance you'll be able to walk out of here after it seems like you're done with my services. The issue is, I owe a few people outside favors. If one of them asks me to hand you over for a meal, I'll need to listen to them or give myself up instead. I'd like to think of a way for both of us to get out of here, he explained with another shake of his head. I studied him closer than before. He had slim, delicate features and clothing made of a light, almost sheer fabric. I found my mind wandering over what kind of services he offered. He did call this a comfort room, after all. What services? I mean, surely they'll be listening for certain noises, I commented, feeling my face starting to turn a shade of pink. An amused smirk appeared on Wisp's face following my train of thought. I'm good at massages. What do you think I offered? He teased. My face turned a deeper shade of red as I refused to answer. Can't I just sneak out the back door? His face lit up with an enthusiastic nod. He grabbed my wrist, ready to lead. We'll try that. He opened the door and poked his head out, seeing that the coast was clear. Slowly, we walked down the long hallway of red doors. I stopped when I heard a scream cut short behind one of those doors. A faint crunch came that made my skin crawl. Glancing at Wisp, his expression confirmed what I suspected. These rooms were used for monsters to eat in private as well as to do other things. I tightened my grip on his small hand, relieved he had been the one to approach me at the bar. We finally found the end of the hallway. It ended in two paths. One appeared to go further inside with another line of doors, and the other led to a double set of doors. Through the circular window, I saw it was a kitchen. There was also a set of doors I assumed to be for some washrooms. We needed to get through the kitchen without anyone noticing us, and we were in the clear. Somehow, something had been following us without making a single sound. I suddenly felt eyes at my back. Glancing over my shoulder, I was met with a horrifying sight. The monster behind had been the same one that served the drinks. The body filled the entire hallway behind us. The shapeless mass silently moved to the countless limbs and black liquid connecting them. A hand from the mass reached out and pointed in the direction of the washrooms. Wisp gave me a stressed expression showing I should go inside the room. Dragging Wisp behind me, we stumbled inside, locking the door behind us. The room was small, with only a single sink and two stalls. I waited for my heart to slow down enough to think clearly. Should we? I started. Voices outside made me shut up really fast. My hands flew to the door to keep it locked. "Do you know what room they're in?" the deeper voice asked. "Why are you asking? Unlike me, Wisp doesn't owe you a meal," the softer voice pointed out. "It's a human that walked in here with his own free will. He exposed himself to us. I can eat him if I want to without breaking any rules. Come on, I'll share." I held my breath, my brain almost shutting down from fear. God, why did I make such a mistake? How the hell am I going to get out of here with almost everyone in the building after my flesh? "Only if we ask Smile to cook the human for us. I'm a bit tired of raw food." The deep voice scoffed at the suggestion. For another minute or so, they had a discussion of what was the best way to eat humans. These two sounded human, yet they weren't. I never expected monsters to come in so many different types. Biddy was a nightmare, and yet Wasp was gentle and kind. "Hey, Bitty, which way did they go?" the deeper voice questioned. My heart stopped, and I felt Wisp place a hand on my shoulder. After a second, the voice thanked the silent creature. I heard the footsteps getting closer. Then, thankfully, they started down the other hallway. A knock came to the door. Wisp put a hand on mine, showing it was okay to come out. Biddy greeted us. The black shape pressed against the ceiling. Wisp nodded at it, then guided me back down where we came from. Biddy dropped down, expanding to fill the hallway behind us, shielding us from anyone who may see us from the other end of the hallway. We darted inside a room and collapsed on the couch, exhausted from the short trip. "Well, the entire kitchen wants to cook you, so no sneaking out the back for us," Wisp said, sounding disappointed. An idea came to me. "Biddy seems nice. Do you think him, will help me get out of here?" Wisp rested his chin on his palm, thinking it over. "Supernatural creatures don't use money. Our world runs based on a favor system. I won't go into how complicated it can get, but Biddy is bound by our rules to take something from a person if they ask something of him. From what I've seen, he acts nice and does a few small free things to lure a person into asking for a bigger favor. In exchange, he'll take a part of their body and add it to his own." So, Biddy was out of the question. His guiding the other pair away wasn't out of the goodness of his heart. He wanted something out of me like everyone else, aside from Wisp. "What about you? What do you get out of this?" I asked, hating how it sounded like I was accusing him of some sort of ulterior motive. He sat back on the couch, not offended by the question. "Some creatures don't include humans to the favor system simply because you're not part of our culture. It's unfair to hold you to our standards. However, some creatures won't eat if they don't. And aside from that, I can understand a little what it's like to be human. I'm not a strong creature. My services aren't worth much. I struggle as much as you would dealing with supernatural creatures." I didn't even consider something like that. This favor system didn't seem overly fair. Because of what Wisp was, it took more of him to repay favors and debts. I crossed my arms, feeling stuck. There didn't appear to be a way out of all of this until I literally barged in. "Wisp, I hear you have something interesting," a loud, excited voice said, causing us to jump. The person who walked in made Wisp cringe out of annoyance and disgust. It was easy to tell he didn't think much of the newcomer. At first, I thought it was a guy. After seeing the high black heels, I changed my mind. Gender was a hard thing to pin down with supernatural creatures. Her hair was red and shoulder length. It was a wild, wavy mess that covered half her face. A scar at the side of her mouth made it appear she was always smiling. "Jake, however did you find out? I swear you snoop around looking to cause trouble," Wisp commented, not pleased at all. "Yes, I do. Anyway, let me have a bite." In a flash, he was in front of me trying to defend a poor human from such a much stronger creature. She waved a clawed hand amused over his display. "You owe me a lot, you know," she mocked with a cruel expression. "You're a half-breed. Why should I repay anything when you don't belong to our world?" he said bitterly. Her cheerful demeanor dropped and a dark expression came over her face. I felt chills run through my body. This person was strong. Deep down I knew that. It was like a primal fear awakened, telling me to run.
"Oh, you're cute. Saying something like that while your legs shake?" she pointed out.
He looked away, ashamed of the small tremble in his knees. We needed to defuse this situation. I put a hand on his shoulder to signal I would be okay hearing this person out. "What do you want in exchange for helping me leave?" I asked, preparing myself for a horrible answer. She moved her head back and forth, considering the offer. With some protest from Wisp, she reached out to take hold of my shoulders. For the next minute, her hands patted me down, feeling my arms, muscles, and studying my face. She emptied out my pockets, looked through my wallet, then glanced at my phone. When my items were returned, a smile came back to her face.
"I have a plan to get you out of the bar. I know what I want, but I won't tell you until you're outside."
"Can I at least ask for a hint of what you want?"
"Nope."
She crossed her arms and looked away. Agreeing with her was basically offering a blank check. It wasn't as if I had too many options. I had the feeling this person wanted more to be amused than a meal. "Erase Wisp debts to you, and we have a deal," I counteroffered. She shook my hand before Wisp got a word out condemning the exchange. His eyes grew wet, and I assured him that things would work out. I didn't fully believe that. He didn't either, but he nodded, wanting to try and stay strong for a new friend.
"Okay, here's what we're gonna do."
Jake started to tell us a plan. I was shocked by just how simple it was. I held Wisp's hand for courage, but mostly to make him feel better. Soon we left the room to walk out into the bar area. Fear ruined my stomach, and it was hard to keep myself steady. The place had gotten busier with all sorts of creatures sitting at the tables. Their countless, differently colored glowing eyes watched our every movement. "What do you have there, Wisp?" one asked in a garbling voice that sounded like a flowing river. "How about giving us a bite?" another suggested.
"Is that a snack or a partner? Can't you do any better?"
That last jab stung a little. Wisp kept his head high, refusing to acknowledge any of them. Jake had hung back to make a grand entrance into the room. She kicked open the door, placed her hands on her hips, and stomped her heeled feet so hard the sound made the room silent.
"There you are! You owe me a meal. Hand over the tasty little human," she demanded. "I don't owe you a meal. I'll make you a bet. If you can catch me in the next 60 seconds, I'll hand over the human. If you can't, what I owe you will be null and void."
Jake laughed in a way that made her sound full of herself. She agreed to the bet. Wisp nodded over to the bartender, who found an ornate hourglass, placing it on the wooden surface. He waited until everyone was ready, then flipped it, starting the timer. Jake's body was a blur I nearly couldn't follow. Her fingertips were almost touching Wisp when he had disappeared in a puff of smoke. He reappeared on the other side of the bar, floating in the air, waiting for her next attempt. The next minute was chaos. Jake tore through the room, crashing into people and jumping off tables or walls, aiming for Wisp, and he avoided her each time. I knew this was an act, but Jake appeared actually angry. Her cheeks grew as red as her hair when the cursing started. She got down on all fours, bouncing around the room like a cat, being just a millisecond too late catching her target. When the time was up, Wisp appeared next to my side, his arms wrapped around mine. The bar was a mess, and yet the creatures inside were howling with laughter, jeering at Jake, who should have been able to catch a weaker creature. She stayed on all fours, literally fuming. Smoke poured from her mouth as a red glow appeared at the base of her throat. I really thought she might start spitting fire.
"I don't know what you did to get stronger, but that was bullshit,"
she shouted, voice tainted with rage.
"What's the matter, half-breed? Can't catch a little bit of smoke?" one of the creatures mocked.
"Shove it up your ass! Screw all of you!
I already got a little nip of that human, and it's not even worth it!"
she screamed, putting on the best sour grapes display she could. The creatures glanced in my direction at the small bite mark on my wrist she made before she left the other room. Jake was a strong creature, but due to her half-breed status, she didn't get a lot of respect. There weren't too many creatures in the room that wanted something that she had her mouth on, and the ones that did now no longer thought they could snag me away from Wisp. She flipped everyone off and stormed out of the bar. Once she was gone, the creatures started to clean up the mess and righting the tables. We walked towards the door, only to be stopped by some monsters patting Wisp on the back. I felt disgusted they were only treating him nicely because he outran a stronger creature.
come by with your new partner sometime. We'll get you a drink. We had fun watching the show," a creature with a set of horns commented. I felt my face get red but didn't correct him. We raced up the stairs the moment no eyes were on us. The cool night air greeted us in the small alleyway. I've never been so glad to hear the sounds of a busy city before. "You were perfect," I said to my new friend and scooped him up in a tight hug. The excitement of being alive got to me. I didn't even realize what I was doing until I saw his embarrassed face. I quickly apologized and set him down. We now only had one last thing to deal with. Jake appeared, a smug grin all over her face. "Okay, loser, pay up," she demanded. I sighed, wondering what she was going to chew off. Was I really going to still die tonight? "He's a human that made a mistake. Don't," Wisp started. He got in front of me, but Jake easily brushed him off. Her hand shot in my pocket, fumbling around. Wisp let out a loud gasp at how inappropriate the action looked. I jumped back, feeling violated, letting her take my phone. She fiddled with my phone and then took off the case. She tossed it aside, not interested in it. She then pulled out the same model from her pocket, placing the case over it, gleefully showing it off. "I love Kamen Rider, but I can't find any merch of it," she explained. I got the case from a nerdy mystery blind box. I had no idea who the character was, but thought it looked cool enough and kept it. Who knew that would someday save my life? "That's it?" Wisp asked, stunned. "Do you want me to take something else?" She grinned. We both shook our heads, praying she wasn't going to change her mind. "I put my number in your phone. Normally when a person comes across supernatural creatures, they encounter them again. You can ask for help, but I won't let you off so easy next time. Also, Wisp doesn't have a phone. I can arrange some meetings between you two." We sputtered at her suggestion. He had done whatever he could to save my life. That was all. Sure, I wanted to see him again, but that didn't mean anything. "No, arranging a meeting would be a favor. You're just trying to weasel more stuff from him. I'll just move into his place." The world stopped for a second. I didn't think I heard him right. Move in? Why move in? I dumbly looked at him for answers. "Have you ever heard of those creatures that clean your place in exchange for cream on the mantelpiece? My species is similar. We keep unwanted pests out as long as you keep a candle with 3 wicks lit. You won't even notice I'm there," he cheerfully explained as if all this was normal. I found myself nodding my head to say I understood what he was saying, unaware that it made it appear I was agreeing to him moving in. I mean, would living with a supernatural creature be so bad? Jake smirked, thinking of something unpleasant, making me want to punch her in the face. "Are you sure you would be okay living with me? My place is sort of small," I commented, warming up to the idea. "I don't use up a lot of space, and you can kick me out whenever you don't need my services." I frowned, not liking that suggestion. Did Wisp only hang out at the bar because he didn't have anywhere else to go? I didn't want him coming back here with people who didn't respect him. "Do you think a taxi will pick us up?" I wondered, looking him over. Any driver would have questions about his appearance. He shook his head and then reached up to pluck out one of my hairs. "I know where you live. See you when you get home." His body disappeared in another puff of smoke, leaving me behind with Jake. She was grinning away, ready to tease me over the deal. I ignored her. My friends had been texting me, wondering where I was. I decided to lie and say something came up and head home for the night. I hope I don't need to use Jake's number. Right now, I really don't want to come across any other supernatural creatures again, besides my good-mannered and polite new roommate. All right, what's up, everybody? I'm back. Went downstairs, spent some time with the family for a little bit since my wife just got off work. All right. Give me a sec. I was just running around the house, and then I had to run up the stairs. Looking at just catching up on chat and whatnot. What's up, Dex? Good to see you in here, my friend.
I really need to make my Discord more active. I don't know anything about how to, make. I made one, but that's it. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to make channels. I don't know anything about it. Alright, let me plug my phone. No, I can't plug it in because I gotta look at chat over here. Alright, let's see. Let's get back to... I hope y'all liked that one. That one was, that's another 02321 story, which, that was a really good one. I like that. A lot of 02321 stories are very, like, whimsical, very supernatural, very cool kind of elements to it. All right, where... Get his wallet for anything else at the moment. There we are. Yeah, then I gotta figure out too, like, what kind of channels do I even want to make, and, what do this, what do that. All right. Go ahead and get in some stuff over here. Well, let's hop back into this one. So this story was basically a girl was at a fair, and then a guy is like a nice guy, but people take advantage of him, blah, blah, blah. They didn't need his wallet for anything else at the moment. You really shouldn't let people take advantage of you like this, I said, nodding towards the noisy group after we sat back down. It's fine. I'm glad they have a... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I saw Ashley. I read ahead and saw Ashley, and I was like, oh, it's a girl. And then I remembered, oh, Ashley is actually a guy name in the story. Nodding towards the noisy group after we sat back down. It's fine. I'm actually glad they have a nice day out. I'm glad they can have a nice day out. Just settling into a new treadmill routine. I'm trying to make that stick. Nice. And you know what? That's actually a good way to phrase that. People will talk about, I'm doing this, I'm on a diet, I'm working out on this, and it's like from what I hear, when I hear people say, and when I used to teach, back when I worked at the gym, was it's not a thing you're doing or a regimen. It's a routine, or it's a new habit. Make a new habit. Make walking a habit, make running a habit, so that way it's something that you do every day or 3 times a week on a certain day, and that's just something that you do now, and then stick to it and keep it going. I'm getting back into running, which I'm feeling more confident that my heart's actually fine and nothing's wrong with me, so I'm gonna get myself back into running and back into lifting weights, because I'm tired of being out of shape. I used to be extremely in shape. It's fine. I'm glad they can have a nice day out, Ashley replied in such a low voice it was hard to hear him over the noise. He kept his hair long and tied back. Everything about him just downright soft. The kids in school were brutal on him, and that didn't help him open up more. We should have spent more time hanging out back then. They're jerks. I'm pretty sure one of them shoved you in the trash once. They really don't deserve a paid day out. If they wanted to have fun, they should use their own money. It's not really my own money either, he said, not denying how he was bullied before. I let out a sigh and let him pick away at his fries. I suppose he always felt guilty living off of his parents' money. His parents appeared to be the type to confuse cash with love, and that passed down to him. Looking him over, I wondered if this guy had ever been happy before. He tossed around money trying to make friends and to get a shred of positive attention. That backfired in people only wanting to use him. Sorry, I was being rude. It's really not up to me how you spend your money, I said, admitting it's just weird. Not up to me how you have you got a dad bod, Kev? It's on the way there. It's on the way there. And you know what? I've grown my, it's on the way there, but I'm getting rid of it now. I'm like, I know, let's get back in shape again. Let's get back in shape. But I am growing the beard out. I've never had a beard my whole life because it just doesn't grow. I'm Native American, so I don't grow much facial hair. And then too, like, I get like a nerdy neck beard. I don't even really get. I'm like, can the hair grow a little bit higher on my face, please? But my wife loves it. I can't stand it, but she loves it. So I'm like, I'll grow it out a little bit. Not up to me how you spend your money, I said. He gave a weak smile and tried to push the deep-fried Mars bar in my direction. That was a burden we needed to share together. At the same time, we shoved half of it in our mouths, the sweetness putting my teeth on edge. The pair of us grimacing at our mistake, and Ashley let out a small laugh from it all. As he was cleaning off his hands from the grease, I noticed he wasn't wearing a bracelet. He'd bought one for those... He'd bought one for those four, but not himself. After all, it was kind of awkward going on a ride alone when your friends were paired up. Hey, let's get you a bracelet and go on some rides. He looked confused at the offer. I took advantage... I knew I heard my chair, and then I see it. I'm like, yeah, let's get rid of that. Same here, LOL. Somehow my neck grows hair, but my face is patchy at best. I'm like, yeah, like, my neck grows it, and then it grows maybe like half an inch up my jaw. And I'm like, come on, just hair, move up 1 inch higher. Hey, let's get you a bracelet and go on some rides. He looked confused at the offer. I took advantage of his pushover personality and dragged him along to the ticket booth. By the time he got his wallet and debit card out, I already paid and had By the time he got his wallet and debit card out, I already paid and almost had a bracelet on his thin wrist. He looked pretty shocked. This might be the first time someone bought him something. I can pay you back, he offered quickly. Don't worry about it. My job pays pretty well. I can afford it. It was the truth. In exchange for wearing down my body, I got paid a crazy amount per hour. More than what most of my classmates would earn after they went to school for a job of their choice. They would be doing a job they wanted, though. I got stuck doing a boring job that would nearly cripple me in 10 years. At least in those years I could afford to buy a house if I saved up. And then I could switch to a part-time job to pay my bills. I should ask if my group wants to go on some rides with us, Ashley said, looking toward the food area. I raised an eyebrow at him. It was nice of him to try and include them, but they didn't even notice he left. And they wouldn't until someone wanted him to pay for something. Do you have their numbers? Yes, he replied slowly. He then, let's see. My hubby has a mad goatee. There you go. Indeed he has. It took years to get my husband to grow a beard. My partner has that issue. Thankfully it's thick so it hides the neck patch. Janice, thank you for the gold coins, Janice. I haven't worked out since I stopped during the lockdowns in half a decade, so the last 2 months I had to start from scratch. I know that feeling. I mean, pre-COVID, I was in the absolute best shape of my life. I was lifting like serious weights. You know, I was, especially for my body weight. I mean, I got down super lean. I was extremely strong for my size. And then lockdowns happened. I mean, the gym was like out of business for like at least 6 months here in Virginia. And then even after that, it was like, I don't even want to get into how fucking dumb the COVID fucking rules were, how fucking stupid they were. Excuse all my language. It was so annoying. I mean, it made no sense to shut that shit down. It was so stupid. But everybody just wanted to go along with it. And then that just completely ruined my fitness for a while. And then, you know, got back into it. Then I had the heart stuff. Then I got out of it. But now I'm getting back into it. But, you know, the strength comes back fast. I mean, I can get back on the bench press, and my strength comes back extremely quickly. I used to have a really long beard till it kept burning at welding. Whew, yeah, I've heard of that. I know my uncle had a real nice beard, and he was doing something, and his beard completely caught on fire. I'm thinking of doing one of the walking challenges. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting myself back out now to, slowly get myself up to, jogging a mile without stopping, then 2 miles, then, I want to get back up to doing 5-mile runs. That'd be nice. He replied slowly. Yes, he replied slowly. Then send them a text. They can meet up when they feel like it. He accepted the answer because the group of friends were still eating and he could see how I wanted to do something else. I mostly wanted him to enjoy the day for once. As we walked, he mentally reached for straws on a topic we could talk about. We hadn't spoken to each other much before, so he wasn't sure of what to say. It's nice to see you're doing well. I heard all sorts of rumors in school, he offered as a topic. I nearly shuddered thinking back to the nightmare that was high school. My family life wasn't ideal back then. I wanted to move out as soon as possible and started to do any kind of odd job to save up, hiding the money from my parents for good reason. It all blew up a year before I graduated when my father found my stash and stole it for his vices. I was so angry I snapped. No one thought a teenage girl could put a full-grown man in the hospital, but I somehow did. He never spoke to me again, and I moved into a terrible apartment to finish my last year of school. Let's see, let's catch up on some chats. My wife told me if I shave it, I have to sign divorce papers. Let's see. When COVID hit, I was stuck offshore for 57 days. That shit was so dumb. That's crazy. Before they allowed us to come back in. It was insane what was going on in the States back then. Even worse with my family in Canada. Yeah, everyone in my family hates the little beard I'm growing out right now, and I don't like it either. But my wife likes it, so that just trumps everybody. And now, usually I would shave maybe once every 3 weeks. Let it grow out a bit, shave it, grow out a bit, shave it. But now I've let it grow out for 2 months, and it's the longest my wife's ever seen it. So now I've kind of screwed myself because now I'm definitely not allowed to shave it. But I told her, about 2 more months, it's going to be gone, and then I'll just have to deal with the consequences. I'm doing the gym 4 days a week and loving it. No longer using walking aids, so doing it at a good pace. That's awesome. That is awesome. Finished my last year of school. Ew, that was gross, sorry. Nah, most of it was true. Aside from selling myself for money, that was spread by some douche because I wouldn't sleep with him, I said with a shrug. Ashley looked startled. Maybe because he got stuck walking around with someone who beat up their own parent. If he wanted to leave at that point, I would let him. He stayed following my steps, silently trying to think of anything else to say. We made our way towards a small selection of rides, and some people in costumes passed by, heading towards one of the many contests held throughout the day. I looked towards one of the rides shaped as a boat that went upside down, and Ashley glanced over at the super lame haunted house. When I took a step closer to the boat ride, it took him a second to catch up. I turned on my heel to head back towards the haunted house, knowing he would never speak up when it came to something he wanted to do. Something reflected some light off in the crowd, stealing my attention for a second. Someone had gone all out with their costume. Towering over the crowd in the distance stood a man wearing a large flat disc as a mask. It looked to be one made out of some dark gray metal. From behind the mask spilled out black feathers covering his shoulders. I couldn't see much from the people blocking his body. I couldn't place the costume. For the most part, I could guess what show or video game, what people fucking hey, makes no sense. I didn't place the costume. For the most part, I could guess what show or video game people would dress up as. When he turned, the metal reflecting the light again, I saw. What the fuck? Oh my gosh. Show or video game people would dress up as. When he turned, the metal reflected the light again. I saw an upside-down smiling mouth on the top of the metal mask. I bumped into Ashley by mistake. He stopped in line for the haunted house. When I looked back, the tall man with the odd mask was gone. I didn't see a spot where someone that tall could have gone in such a short amount of time. A bit weird, but I didn't have time to dwell on it. There weren't too many people lined up for the short ride, so we got on pretty fast. The cars were shaped as cartoonish bats. Lined up for the short ride, so we got on pretty fast. The cars were shaped as cartoonish bats. Still something in my throat. One sec. Alright, hopefully that, The cars were shaped as cartoonish bats. I sat in the hard, glittering plastic seat and watched Ashley put his seatbelt on, even though he didn't really need to. These cars went at a snail's pace. The short trip was a very basic dark ride. No flashing lights for people sensitive to that. Man, what is up? I got something in my throat. Short trip was a very basic dark ride. No flashing lights for people sensitive to that. The sunlight got through small cracks of the building, ruining the illusion. Normally, I wasn't really good at handling haunted houses. Things bumping in my face normally got a reaction out of me punching them. The small jump scares in that ride were so minor I didn't react, but Ashley did. He jumped up and grabbed my arm when a skeleton rattled a cage next to us. For a wimp, I was impressed he wanted to go through with this. After it was all said and done, we got off and he looked as if he went through a pretty intense experience. "And you really shouldn't be mean and tap me on the shoulder during rides like that," he scolded. "I wasn't tapping your shoulder," I lied. "Yeah, please, alley-oops, please." That just made me think of the Goosebumps scene in Night of the Living Dummy, where the dummy makes the person cough up an actual frog. Oh my gosh, that scene scarred me as a kid. You know, it does give a good growl. "I wasn't tapping your shoulder," I lied. His face grew pale. I really shouldn't be messing with him, but it was far too easy. I guided him away from the poorly made ride, him now positive it really was haunted. We needed to find something he could actually handle. I was hoping to let him have a bit more fun before his group stole him away again. We heard his friends first. As we walked, shouting came down the path and the crowd of people started to avoid the spot. One of the couples he had ride with started having a screaming match about something. Apparently, she was giving other guys too much attention and her boyfriend wasn't at all happy about that. My meek and shy new friend started to hurry over, ready to break up the fight. I held him back before he reached him. We needed to think of a plan before he just jumped right in. A sharp sound rang through the air and made us all jump. You know, Dex, I wanted to message you, too. I don't know how many... I was going to message you a little bit later because I wanted to get more into the story. But, the story, I don't know if you heard it or not, but by Nature's Temper, and I did it too, I found a portal to another world where Homo sapiens never evolved. That's a story, like an hour story, hour and a half story. Then the author made a whole novella out of it. And I wanted to see how many lines he has before I ask you. Because I want you to voice the protagonist's friend in this, but I was like, let me read through it, or at least skim a decent amount and check, because I don't want to ask you and have it be like, oh yeah, this is a 50-minute part. It shouldn't be, because I mean it's a novella, which is it's like 5 hours long, but in a novella, usually, you don't have 50 minutes of dialogue for a side character, but, it's probably somewhere around like 20 to 30 minutes. But keep that in mind. I do want to probably have you as the guy's friend in here. Yeah, Rogue. No kidding. And it's weird, too, because the author is such a good author. It's like, damn, come on. Let's all jump. Where are we at? A sharp sound rang through the air and made us all jump. Yeah, that's what's up, Dex. I'll let you know. The girl... Oh, I didn't hit record. The girl said something the guy didn't like, so he lost it. He slapped her so hard the poor girl almost fell over. Their two friends so shocked they couldn't react. Any of the people still watching the whole ordeal froze in the spot, unsure of what to do. I was about to charge in and let loose on him for doing such a thing when the masked man I'd seen before appeared behind the group. Literally appeared. I froze, wondering if I was seeing things. How could someone just step out of thin air like that? These long stories are hard to figure out narrating coordination for with a cast. Yes, they are, and I wish I had someone that could just do it for me. They are very hard. Because also, like, say you have a long story, right? Like with the tribal jail story, it was 4 hours long. It was 4.5 hours long. I speed read or sped read, however the hell you conjugate those verbs. A decent amount before I did it, but it was like it's such a long story. But see, the thing is I would want to know if there's like 8 people in the story, like tribal jail. It's like I want to know how many characters there are, and then I want to know how many lines each character has, so I can decide who I want to play what. And then maybe you want to give the higher amount of lines in a story to who you think are the better voice actors. But then also on top of that, you have to get to know each character, because you're like, all right, I want Dexter to have the one with a lot of lines, right? And then it's like, oh man, but Dexter doesn't fit, his voice doesn't fit the way this character talks, or he doesn't fit that. Dexter actually fits this one other character that I really like, and I want Dex to play him. But it's like, oh fuck, he doesn't have that many lines, and I want Dexter's voice to have a lot of lines. So it's like there's so many things that you have to actually coordinate with, and you want to do those on the long stories, and then it's like it just takes so much time. Hey, they did the thing again in Creepcast where they crapped on a famously great creepypasta, The Sandman. I saw that upload, but I haven't watched it yet. I was going to watch it at work tomorrow. Damn, that sucks. Like, did they really just shit all over it? Like, oh, it's so annoying. Like when they did, I talked about it the other week, a few weeks ago, when they did, My Property Isn't Normal. That is like an OG, like, creepypasta favorite. And yeah, it's a dumb story. It's got stupid plot points. The guy talks about his fucking Bear Grylls knife like 17 times. But it's also a comedy pasta. So it's supposed to be dumb. You're supposed to enjoy it. You're supposed to just enjoy the reading. You're supposed to enjoy the dumb stuff in it. And they just ripped that story to shreds. And that was so annoying to see. Let me push my voice. I can tweezer pull from the Garden of Eden if I have to. Okay, please excuse my ignorance, tribal jail. That was a 4 hour. So it's in two parts. It's part one, part two, and then I'll put the compilation out in like a month. But if you haven't heard it, it's got me, Vidith, Dusklight, Radio, Dexter, Jermaine TV, Whispering Scream, Vox Animus, and I know I'm probably missing one more. Oh yeah, We Try Horror in there too. Yeah, that came out. Check it about a month ago. But I'll tell you now, the ending is overwhelming. I didn't get to. I read some of the story and then I got to the end and it doesn't completely tie the story off. It's kind of on a cliffhanger. So if you don't want to waste your time listening to a 4 hour story with a cliffhanger on it, completely understand. Honestly, if I read that story to myself in full before I started recording it, I wouldn't have recorded it, to be honest, because I hate that it ends the way it does. Because I know if I was a listener and I spent 4 hours on that, I'd be pissed. That's me. Some people don't care about cliffhangers. I'd be pissed. Travel Jill was so well put together. Everyone did such a great job. Thank you, Alley Oops. And they really did. They really did do an awesome job. And I did like the story. Like, I love the story. The cliffhangers drive me nuts. I actually messaged the author about a week ago. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, I put the story out. Because I got permission from him like a year and a half ago. And the story was just so long that I never did it. And there were characters in it. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I want to do collaborations with this. So then it took me months to put that collab together. Excuse me? Wendigoon does hate on, like, oh gosh, Wendigoon drives me nuts. I'm going to be honest, guys. He looks fucking insufferable to be around. And I hate to say it, but like Hunter seems like such a cool, go with the flow, spur of the moment, assholey but in a fun way kind of guy. Wendigoon always has to be right. He has to be Mr. Know-It-All. He is constantly fucking interrupting Hunter when Hunter wants to talk. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Hunter, don't let him cut you off like that. Because he thinks what he has to say is more important. I'm like, oh my, it's so hard to listen to some of the stories sometimes. The one story that did deserve to be crapped on that they did was I Dared My Best Friend to Ruin My Life. And when I heard that story, I first listened to that story like 5 years ago, and I actually thought, man, this is such a cool story. It's awesome. But then when I listened to them two read it and then point out all the horrible plot holes, and I was like, wow, this story actually is a dumb ass story. And like over the top anime, like, but it was still, I still loved it when I listened to it the first time. I loved it. But then I heard them read it and I was like, wow, I didn't even realize how bad this story was until they read it. Wendigoon, I think, got sucked into that in the last couple years. I think Wendigoon didn't used to be like that. Hunter does have a brilliant sense of comedic timing. The bits Hunter, like, if y'all haven't listened to The Property Isn't Normal, just click on it and then go through the comments and find the timestamps for the Jimmy Neutron bit. That fucking Jimmy Neutron Carl Weezer bit is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard in my life. And Hunter made it up. It was pure gold. It was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard. But gosh, Wendigoon seems so insufferable. I'm not gonna lie. But in his videos with a script, he seems like a really cool guy. But in these live readings between them two, it is just Mr. Know-It-All, conceited. I know everything. I'm going to talk over anyone I want because what I say is important and people need to listen to me. And it's like, oh my gosh. Just step out of thin air like that. How could someone just step out of thin air like that? The man was so tall he towered over the group. His thin body and I His thin body, and I could see his. Come on, it doesn't make sense. Alright, how about I say his thin body, and I could see his ribs and the outline of his hip. How do I transform this sentence? How about his body was so thin I could see his ribs and the outline of his hip bones? Alley-oops, a narcissist, pretty much. Although I think that term gets thrown around too much, but definitely has a host of narcissistic personality traits, I'll say that. The man was so tall he towered over the group. His body was so thin I could see his ribs and the outline of his hip bones. He only wore a tattered, dirty sheet around his waist that reached his feet. The mask of dark gray metal with the upside down... Tattered, dirty sheet around his waist that reached his feet. The mask of dark gray metal with the upside down mouth reflecting the frightened face of the guy who just smacked his girlfriend. Having fun? The voice came from the mask, croaked. The voice came from the mask. Okay, yeah. It doesn't help that Wendy is so frequently wrong, like even things that are in his wheelhouse, like folklore and urban legends. And, well, the pronunciation, pro readers are bad with words, man. I know. Like, and don't get me wrong, I know I probably pronounce things wrong, although I think I have an incredible grasp of the English language in terms of pronunciation. But for someone whose job, like him, is to read stories, damn, he does pronounce a lot of things wrong. Would not surprise me if that is all a show for engagement bait in the comments. I know some podcast channels do that. I'm sure plenty of it is. Plenty of their personalities are, like that. But when it comes to constantly cutting people off and thinking that you're right, like the way he does it, it's obviously his real personality. But plenty of it probably is, I would be willing to bet that Hunter is not as bombastic as like Papa Meat. I would be willing to bet he is nowhere near as bombastic and gregarious as he is in his videos than he is in real life. And you can see that too when you look at Papa Meat, his Meat Canyon channel, or whichever one that he doesn't do the animations on, where he posts, the one where he posts like 5 times a week on. Hey guys, it's me, Papa Meat here. We're back again for another video, and we're gonna get back into how horrible HOAs are. I guarantee you, that's his YouTube personality. I bet he's actually probably pretty chill in real life. But Wendigoon, oh man, he's that guy that talks at a party that will talk about something, even though nobody wants to listen to it, and then just keep going on about it. And then you chime in with one thing, and he's that well actually kind of guy. It's like, well, actually, in 1876, the French Revolution started because of, And then, like you said, someone else said he probably is wrong in the first place. But I'll tell you guys, that Jimmy Neutron bit is the funniest. I would just get on and YouTube it right now and play it, but I don't know if it would, strike anything. You have to listen to the Jimmy Neutron bit. It is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. Wendigooner. Oh yeah, if you're talking about the clout, Dubach, the clout farming by crapping on the stories was something that, he got steered into because the audience loves it. I also do agree with that, El DeGusto, and then maybe Dubach, that might have been what you were referencing. At this point, when you do go back into the earlier videos, they were way more friendly on stories. I think now they do, I think it's obvious, they do overhype, how mad they get or how frustrated they get, because it just becomes funny. But it's when you start just chasing stuff like that, that's just a huge disservice to some of the big authors out there, or the small authors even. Now they kind of only take a story seriously if it was written by Dalek Emperor. What's her shit. I know her damn name too, but Baraska, C.K. Walker. If it's a C.K. Walker story, they go into it immediately seriously and take it serious. But it's when something has a label of a name on it, you could take the C.K. Walker story and then have an anonymous author, and they could be the same exact stories, but they'll shit on the anonymous one. But if it had C.K. Walker's name on it, they would take it seriously and like it. You know, so there's a lot of that in there too. Yeah. Who doesn't love a good brain blast bit? That shit was so funny. Who just smacked his girl. Fun. Ooh, just found a book on Australian folklore. I bet that's interesting. The voice came from the mask. Oh, fuck. This was a sentence that was fucked up. The voice came. Okay, how about the voice that came from the mask was croaked? The voice that came from the mask croaked and shouldn't have been loud enough to be heard over the crowd of people. How come no one looked startled by this guy? Aside from the 6 of us, no one even appeared to be paying any attention to the masked man. All at once, I knew that wasn't the right word. It wasn't whoever, but whatever. This guy wasn't wearing a costume. Acting on instinct, I grabbed Ashley's head. Yeah, try to transform another sentence. I grabbed Ashley's head and shoved it against my shoulder. How about that? This guy wasn't wearing a costume. Acting on instinct, I grabbed Ashley's head and shoved it against my shoulder so he didn't see what was going to happen. In a few seconds, that proved to be a very good idea. Who says fuck off? I guess it's the masked man. Fuck off! Oh my gosh, I know someone like that. She tried telling me about pigs while I was working on a pig farm, and what she was telling me was wrong. Idea. After this story too, we'll work on some thumbnails. Idea. Fuck off! Those were the last words the guy ever said. The mouth slipped down on the mask. It glided along the metal as if it wasn't moving on a solid surface. With frightening speed, the creature bent over, half-moon mouth opening wide to fit the guy's entire head inside. I heard screaming from the small group as the head came off, blood spraying everywhere. Ashley wanted to raise his head, but I kept a firm hold on him. He started trembling, terrified of what sights I refused to let him see. I opened my mouth to scream for help from the crowd, the words dying in my throat as I saw everyone else not paying attention to any... No, that's my fuck up. I opened my mouth to scream for help from the crowd, the words dying in my throat as I saw everyone else not paying any attention to what had just happened. That monster quickly got down on all fours to devour the guy's body, blood and gore flying as he did so. The attack only lasting a few seconds. And yet, no one looked in that direction. Ashley, we need to go. Oh, fuck, where am I? I thought I could scroll down real fast and see how much story was left in the middle of speaking that sentence, and then scroll back up, and then I was like, no, I lost it. Okay, this story is actually longer than I thought. Okay. Let's take a little break. Here, let's go to... right there. Oh, here, I'll show you all what I did for the bar monster thumbnails. So, for that one, I typed in... So it's a bar for monsters, right? And then the monster was kind of this wispy thing that, and it was short, and I immediately thought of a leprechaun. So I typed in a leprechaun sitting on a bar top in a bar at night. I always say at night because I want the pictures to be dark. A devious smile on his face and a gold coin flipping in the air, creepypasta art style. So I went ahead, I put that in there. I'll show y'all. I know the image is a bit blurry. I had to put the bitrate so low because of my shitty internet. At first I said a wispy one because the guy teleports around in that story. But then I didn't really. I mean, I liked these, but they weren't really very. I didn't want to use them, and some of the images were actually a little too dark. I like this one though, and then I like that one. Let's see. I mean, I did like a lot of these, but I was like, you know what? Let me get the wispy out of there, and then let's go ahead and switch to just a leprechaun. And then I liked this one a lot. I was like, okay, I like this one. I don't know if I'll use that one, but I was like, I like this one. And then I liked this one a lot too. I like that one. Which else? I liked that one, but that one it looked a little too grainy. You should come and visit Australia, Elda. Yeah, you know what, the biggest thing I want to see in my life, and I want to do it before I'm old, is I have to see the Egyptian pyramids. I have to do that in life. Oh yeah, and this is the one that I liked this one too, and then I settled on this one. There's a couple places that I really want to see at some point. My bucket list of like top 5, top 3 or whatever is I need to see the pyramids. I need to see Giza. I want to go see the Vatican, and I need to see that church in Germany. It just looks amazing when you see videos and TikToks and YouTubes on it. I'm like, dude, how do you even build something like that? It's amazing. It was like that church in Germany that took like 400 years to build or something. I have to see that. El Gusto, a coworker invited me to a wedding in Egypt, and I plan to go see the pyramids. Definitely. I wish. I hope I get to see the pyramids soon. But now I just had a baby, so I'm like, well, that's gonna be put off for a while. Yeah, so then I picked these two, and then you mess with the images a little bit, then you upscale the resolution. All right, so the one we just listened to was my friends tried to sacrifice me to summon a succubus. So I'll type something like an occult ritual with a pentagram. With a pentagram in a basement. In a dimly lit basement. In the pentagram is I'll type succubus, but it'll probably give images a little bit too, spicy for YouTube. Go see the pointy rock piles. Yep. Yeah, I thought it was the Cologne one, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong, Dubach. Yeah, you're right. The Cologne Cathedral in Germany. That thing is like awe-inspiring. I need to see that thing in person one day. I have to see that thing in person. But my top thing ever to see is I have to see the pyramids of Giza. I'm obsessed with the pyramids. I'm a big Graham Hancock fan, Randall Carlson, all that stuff. I listen to that stuff all the time, and I've even got what's his name? I even have that book, The Giza Power Plant by, and now I can't think, Christopher West or Dunn. Let me Christopher Dunn is his name. Yeah. So these ones, maybe I'll type close up. In the pentagram is a close up of a succubus. Yeah, see, I can't put some of these out there on YouTube thumbnails. How about I'll just type demon. In the pentagram is a close up of a demon. Don't tell me you're captured by the archaeology cult. I absolutely am. I listen to so much of that stuff. I love Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson. There's a Australian guy that I like a lot too. Fuck, what's that Australian guy's name? Uncharted X, Ben something. Uncharted X. His name is Ben Van Kerwick. He's got an awesome Egyptian channel. I can't avoid the outside world anymore. Thank you for the fun tonight, Kevin. Absolutely, Lullaby. Thank you for the super chats and all your support as well. And thank you for being in the comments, just talking. Let's see. All those people are just so bad. How do you mean, Dex? Now, also, keep in mind, just because I listen to them doesn't mean I think they're right. They're just, so much of it is just so entertaining. Like, I definitely think, regular people built all that stuff. It wasn't built by aliens or not some lost Atlantis race. Let's see. What's another thing to type in for the... See, I'm not liking any of these images that are coming up. I'll see you, Lullaby. You have a great night. How about how about an occult ritual in a basement at night? Creepypasta art style. Yeah, something like this could work. It is all too dark. An occult ritual in a basement with a single, I don't know, bright in the dark with a bright candle in the middle. I still like him, but I used to love listening to Randall Carlson until I found out that he thinks the fucking moon is fake and is built by, fucking aliens. I'm like, man, why do some of these people who have like really cool thoughts and ideas end up saying some of the wackiest shit ever? I'm like, you think aliens built the fucking moon and like rocketed it over here or some shit? What about using a female demon in the search? That could. Now I'm kind of liking some of that. Sometimes even the simplest is the best. Sometimes even something just like this. Very simple, nothing really messing up the screen, clogging things up. Fake ass moon. All right, let me pick out some finalists out here. Okay, how about an occult ritual in a basement in the dark with a bright candle in the middle on a... Damn, my brain is not working tonight. What's the fucking thing that's like you put something on in a ritual? Like you put it on top of like a... it's not a pillar. Damn, I am really tired. When you put something on like a summoning stand, I know there's a fucking word for this in my head right now. Aliens didn't build the moon. It was the mice, and the answer is always 42. You would be right. Fuck, what's it called? An occult ritual in a basement in the dark with a bright candle in the middle on a like a sacrificial altar. Thank you, Dexter. Thank you. I hate that this stream's on like a 20-second delay, so it's like it takes forever. Like when I ask a question, it takes forever to get a response. Altar, thank you. Even a pedestal or a plinth would work too. Ah, yes. That you see how just changing a couple words, you go from like this, which I liked these, and then just putting altar on there now, like I really like this one a lot. I think this one might be it. So you know what? I didn't mean to upscale it yet. All right, here. We're going to go ahead. You take the image, and then I'm going to put the image like here, and then you make it a little bit bigger. And a dais even works too. Yep. Submit edit. I'll do a couple ones that I like, and then we can kind of vote a little bit on which one. Dex coming in to save the day again. You know, and some of these, like, it sucks to, like, I'll look at an image and I'm like, man, a lot of these, I like them like 80% of the way. They're just like 10 or 20% missing. I like this one too, but I kind of just wish it was sized differently. Because I like that there's that, like, one lone figure there. Okay, we got that. Now let's go ahead and see. You know, I like this one too. Maybe we can go ahead and all right, so see, that's kind of a little too dark. What else? See, I kind of like this one, but it just looks a little too corny. I do like, you know, okay, wait, did I already pick that one? Is that the one that I liked? It's funny when I go back and I scroll through and I'm like, ooh, this one. And I'm like, oh, I already picked that one. Okay, this one is, I like that one too. Unless that's the one I already picked up to also. I like this one, but I don't know. It's something. It just doesn't quite have that umph that I really want. I like this one, but they look like fucking cavemen around the thing. They look like Neanderthals. All right, and then once those are done, I'll go ahead and we will kind of vote almost on which one that we like the most. So I'll take that here, upscale, and I might have to put some of these in ChatGPT to change kind of the. One thing that's awesome about ChatGPT is you can change the color on things, like Midjourney. Something can look like almost exactly how you want it, but you want to change one detail, And Midjourney won't let you just change like one thing. It's like, nope, you can't do. You can use an image as a reference, but you can't say, oh, I love this person, but make their dress blue. Like Midjourney won't do that, but ChatGPT will, which is awesome. All right, let's see what else we got. Let me catch up on, let's see. All right. Once these are kind of done, see, I think I like that one the most. Welcome back, Jerry. Some of these just take so long to upscale. Once these are kind of done, see, I think I like that one the most. Welcome back, Jerry. Some of these just take so long to upscale. All right, so far we have this, which I think is my favorite because it's just so simple. This, I like it, but it's just missing, like, I wish this was a little bit higher and the guy was a little bit, like, shorter almost. Then this, another very simple thumbnail. And sometimes simple is the best. I like it, but it's just missing, like... Gemini is actually decent for it too. That's good to know. I'm going to have to check that out. Yeah, then there's this, which I like, but it just looks like cavemen around a candle. Gemini is actually decent for it too. That's good to know. I'm gonna have to check that out. I still think this is. I still think this one wins. So 1, 2. I still think this is. 3. So 1, 4. Let me know which one y'all like. Okay, let's go back to reading for a little bit. Number 3, really? Okay, yeah, 3. I like 3. For me, it's between 1 and 3. Okay, let's go back to reading for a little bit. Number 3, really? Okay, yeah, 3. I like 3. Ashley, we need to go. For me, it's between 1 and 3. Ashley, we need to go. I yelled, starting to drag him away. Why? What's wrong? I heard a snapping sound as soon as the world shifted and changed. I almost felt too dizzy to stand up. Looking around, I saw we were in the same spot, but the masked creature and all the blood simply disappeared. The group of Ashley's friends were missing a person. Masked creature and all the blood simply disappeared. The group of Ashley's friends were missing a person but acting as if nothing happened. I held his wrist, trying to drag him away when everything changed. His face a little concerned over my panicked state. Ashley honestly didn't remember the last few minutes like everyone else besides myself. He thought I just needed to use the washroom. That deep-fried Mars bar proved to be a very bad idea. I held his wrist, trying to drag him away when everything changed. Wait, let me delete a little bit. I dragged him along to the washrooms and risked leaving Ashley alone for a few minutes so I could puke up everything I ate that day. I needed to think. What the hell happened? How did no one else remember what we saw? Pulling out my phone, I didn't know what I needed to do for a second. Call the cops? Without proof, I sounded crazy. There wasn't even any blood left behind. Nothing. On a hunch, I looked up the guy's name on Facebook. It took me a few minutes to remember it. Searching through related friends, I finally found his photo, but it stumbled on a page set up in his honor. My blood ran cold. According to the Facebook page, he died in a car accident before we graduated high school. That wasn't possible. I just saw him a few minutes ago. Oh wait, I just saw him die. Graduated high school. That wasn't possible. I just saw him die a few minutes ago. A noise came from the outside stall, and I nearly dropped my phone in fear. I sat on the floor when I puked and hadn't gotten up yet. I'd stall, and I nearly dropped my phone in fear. I sat on the floor when I puked and hadn't gotten up yet. So I saw the feet poking out from the torn sheet under the stall door. Oh, y'all are getting a bit of an echo here, my bad. I pulled up the stream on my computer monitor and I didn't realize I thought it was muted. Rogue, number 1. Yeah, it's between 1 and 3 for me now. Both of the candles. Poking out from the torn sheet under the stall door. Looking up, I spotted the masked creature very rudely staring down over the top of the stall. "You shouldn't be in the woman's washroom," I said. Oh, that's in the person's voice. Very rudely staring down over the top of the stall. "You shouldn't be in the woman's washroom," I said in a trembling voice, hoping that would make him leave. The smile was still upside down, so I assumed I was safe for a moment. I held up my phone, still down, so I assumed I was safe for a moment. I held up my phone, still displaying the Facebook page for it to see, trying to get answers. Fuck. I held up my phone, still displaying the Facebook page. Down. So I assumed I was safe for a moment. I held up my phone, still displaying the Facebook page, trying to get answers. While I sat alone in the stall, I realized something terrible I should have noticed sooner. I didn't remember going to the fair. I should be at work that day. For some reason, not only did my job not call me, but I had no memories of getting up that moment. For some reason, not only did my job not call me, but I had no memories of getting up that morning to come here. "Am I already dead?" I asked the creature. I thought I heard it laugh. There goes the theory that this was some sort of limbo for the dead. This thing could change the past and bring people to this fair. But for what reason did it drag us here? It wasn't eating everyone it came across. How limited were its powers? I had a million questions and not much to go on. Fun? The question in that terrible voice echoed through the washroom. Did it ask me if I was having fun? I was until I saw him eat a man. Give me 1 minute, guys. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Thank you. I heard my wife turn on the the brown noise on the TV, which baby girl likes to sleep with. So I was like, let me go over there and give some kisses before they go to bed. Well, I saw him eat them. I was until I saw him eat a man. Well, not right now. I'm a bit freaked out to have fun, I admitted, knowing that might not be a good answer. Have fun. Without giving me a chance to reply, it turned and walked away, each step making a sound on the tile floor. I was stunned, to say the least. What was the point of this place? The point of the day? To have fun and whoever didn't got to eaten? For some reason, I noticed this creature and remembered what it did while the rest of the people here didn't. If those memories didn't fade, I was as good as dead by the end of the day. Man, let me just look something up real quick. Man, what the hell was I about to look up? Oh yeah, I was gonna bring up Canva for some thumbnail action real quick. I think I like thumbnail 3 more now, this one. Although this little bit of light on the bottom kind of distracts the eye. So, let's see, thumbnail. Let me drag that over. Then we go ahead and bring that over. Alright, there's thumbnail 1, 2, I save the other one. We'll title this My Friends Tried to Sacrifice. Yeah, we'll type see if get the whole thing out. Damn, I cannot type. Here we go. My friends tried to sacrifice me to summon a succubus. My friends tried to sacrifice me to summon a succubus. Alright, we take that, take the stuff right there, increase the thickness, then change the bottom text to red. Enlarge it a little bit, make it a little bit closer. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, shakalaka. Alright, so here we have 2 thumbnails, ladies and gentlemen. Thumbnail. Let's move it over a little bit that way. Alright, so there we have thumbnail 1. Thumbnail 2. You know, I like this one more, but this little brightness right there kind of irks me a little bit. Let me just try to check something real quick. Alright, yeah, 1, 2, See, one jumps a little bit more, and it's just the picture's, a little more clear, less going on. Kevin, read last message. I don't really. All I see is, I know, Ali, same here. Coming out, Gusto, right? That's the last thing I see. Yeah, I think number 1 is it. I just wish the flame color was the color of the flame in this one. And number 2. I don't like how this is kind of just a little too orangey. But I think, yeah, number 1 is the one. Man, I think after this story, oh yeah, we got like 2 minutes left in this story, and then I think I'm gonna, I don't know, I might go to bed, but I do want to play some more League of Legends. I was as good as dead by the end of the day. Oh man, okay, there's about 5 minutes left. Okay. I was as good as dead by the end of the day. It looks like a lit candle should. True. And taking a deep breath, I needed to focus. If my fate was already sealed, at least I could save Ashley. Give her kisses from Auntie Cryptid. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, that one never went through for some reason, but will absolutely. I just love that baby girl so much. I've wanted to have a kid for. I've wanted to be a dad since I was a kid. Make sure you have fun. I've loved my dad so much growing up and as a kid. And I just remember, loved my dad so much, respected him so much. And I was like, man, I can't wait till I have a kid. And hopefully they love and respect me as much as I love and respect my dad. So I've wanted to be a dad forever. Get your running, Kevin. Do a quick one. I would, but it's 10 o'clock at night over here, and the bugs are out, and then I'd have to take a shower if I go outside. So I'm going to have to go ahead and get my run in tomorrow. Thank you, Allie. Thank you. Sealed? At least I could save Ashley. Shit, where the hell is that? At least I could save Ashley. There it is. He didn't remember the masked creature and could still make it out of here. I turned off my phone and made my way back outside to meet up to him. Him acting a bit worried from how long left. What the fuck? Listen, guys. Him acting a bit worried from how long left for. What the fuck? Phone and made. I'm just gonna skip that whole sentence. I don't even feel like deciphering it. Phone and made my way back outside to meet up to him. I told him it was the junk food not sitting right, and I felt fine now. I took his hand, feeling scared to death, but tried my best to not let it show in my face. He accepted his hand being held by someone who was mostly a stranger to him. Whatever else happened, I needed to make sure he had fun today. We walked around and I played, that's my fault. We walked around and I paid close attention to what he was looking at, trying to get a grasp of what he wanted to do. The bigger rides were out of the question. Along the way to a massive slide he appeared interested in, his eyes drifted to a pile of stuffed hippos that could be won from the games. They honestly were the ugliest toy in the entire place. The fabric of a shiny pink in their eyes, the fabric of a shiny... I'll just say it how it is. Ugliest toy in the entire place. The fabric, a shiny pink, and their eyes crossed. See, it does work if you pause, but that needs a comma there. Wait, did I? Their eyes crossed. Okay, I did pronounce it right. Okay. Kevin already living the dream, while Old El Gusto was struggling with alchemy, trying to transmute happiness from base matter. You'll get there, my friend. You shall get there. Perhaps a deal with the deal maker. I need to write the next deal maker. I still haven't come up with an idea. For what is it shall you require for a deal to be made, my friend? My eldest daughter is 37 this year, and she is my whole world. That's awesome. I want at least 4 kids, but however many I can afford. That's the big problem nowadays. Eyes crossed. Where the hell was I? Where was I? Okay, jeez, okay. I can't find it. Crossed. There we go. There we go. Sometimes you gotta cheat. Control F. A shiny pink and their eyes crossed. But if he wanted it, I would get him one. The game with the ugly hippos appeared to be a simple one. Just ring the bell with a hammer. I paid for a few tries, wondering if I could even get this damn hippo for him. The guy running the game let Ashley go first. He acted a little embarrassed by the fact he didn't even get the wait halfway. The guy running the stall humored me, and I took the oversized hammer. I slammed down the hammer, picturing I smashed the masked face with all the strength in my arms. The bell rang, and both men stood shocked. I may be a bit shorter than them both, but a lifetime of working and now doing 2 years of a job with heavy lifting paid off. In a few short minutes, Ashley had his hippo. Yeah, kids mean money. Yes, they sure do. In a few short minutes, Ashley had his hippo. His face flushed at carrying the ugly thing around. I wish he had better taste. At least he smiled. That's really all that mattered. I wanted a dozen, had 3, nearly died, fostered 7 more. That's awesome. When I worked at a daycare, there was a woman who fostered 2 kids. She was probably, I guess, maybe a middle-aged, a sweet middle-aged white lady, kind of like a Marlboro-looking lady, very much in the sand, very much in the sun, looked like a big smoker, but she was so sweet, so nice, and she fostered these 2 black kids at the daycare. One was probably a 12-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy, brother and sister. They had very bad real parents. I mean, I don't think they had a dad, and the mom was on drugs, and this lady that was at the daycare was fostering these kids for years, and she was trying to adopt them, and actually adopt them as her own kids, and it's. I get kind of annoyed at government overreach, as y'all heard me get pissed off when it came to the lockdowns and stuff, but there are some things that the government, I think, should step in on. Like, the government in some states, and where I live, they really, really, really try to give the parents, like, as many opportunities as possible to have their own kids. And I'm like, listen, when the mom is a fucking crack whore and a fucking heroin addict, and like to the extent of she left drugs around the table, like the dining table or whatever, the coffee table around her 10-year-olds, and that was like in police reports. You know, there comes a time where you say, you know what, you don't have any fucking parental rights anymore. And they should have, in my opinion, if you know more of the story, but they should have revoked her parental rights and let this other woman adopt these two kids at the daycare that she was looking after for years. But they let the kids go back to the real mom, and who knows what kind of life. Hopefully hopefully the mom did get on the straight and narrow, but I doubt it. But hopefully those kids are living good lives. The girl was a little older, and she was very sweet, very well-mannered. And the boy, I'm not going to lie, the boy was a little shithead, but it's not his fault. You know, he's a 10-year-old that doesn't have a dad, who has, you know, the kid has no discipline. And, you know, it's a good kid deep down, you know, no kids are bad, you know. So don't take what I say the wrong way. But the kid was a little shit sometimes, you know. But like I said, not his fault. He has a mom who's a crack addict, you know. And when you do get down to the kids, you know, base, you know that these ones are good, and they do want to do well, but they don't have anybody in there to guide them. And they did not let the foster mom have him, which was a super bummer. Yes, my opinion exactly. It breaks my heart when parents are that bad. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck did you bring a life into this world just to abuse it? I don't understand that. It's insane. That's really all that mattered. That's really all that mattered. We walked through the area with the games. Between some booths, I spotted the masked creature gladly gobbling up another person as no one else noticed. A cruel reminder of my fate by the time the day ended. How could anyone have fun with that thing walking around? Ashley noticed my mood. We stopped by another game, and I watched as he sat down to play. He picked the game with a bunch of water guns. Without enough people, the game couldn't get started. So, he paid for a few kids passing by to join him. I watched with a small smile almost appearing on my face as he did his best to win at least one round. But he got pretty happy when others beat him. It felt nice seeing the guy who got bullied all through high school finally having a good day. How often did he let himself just be happy like this? As prizes were won, I think the guy running the booth gave Ashley a pity prize. He handed him a stuffed pink elephant that matched the hippo. He gladly took it and paid for a few more rounds to be covered for anyone random walking by to play before he walked over with two toys in hand. Holding out the elephant, he smiled as he offered the plush to me. That's the biggest smile I'd ever seen on him so far. He put all that effort into winning something from me after noticing how I was feeling. If I didn't hear the distant screams of someone being eaten, I would have thought this was one of the best days I've had in a long time. The hours passed by as less and less people were at the fair. One would assume they were going home. I see all those. Let me just redo that. I would have thought this was one of the best days I've had in a long time. The hours passed by as less and less people were at the fair. One would assume they were going home, but I knew the real reason. The moment they weren't having fun for a second, they were gobbled up. I didn't know why I lasted the day. Every moment tense, knowing that masked creature could appear from my life at any second. The system is that corrupt, and it makes me sad. It sure does. I found through a lot of experimentation that if ChatGPT doesn't give you what you need, Gemini will, and vice versa. Yeah, they definitely have all their strengths and weaknesses, don't they? Masked creature could appear from my life at any second. As the sun started to set, a fireworks show got announced to end the night. Ashley appeared excited for it and hurried us over to get a good spot. Not once did he mention the friends he came with. Did he even still remember them? How many of them were left? He wasn't at any risk of being eaten. I thought he had more fun than anyone else at the fair that day. I even heard him laugh a few times. During the day, I knew I started to love him, but not in a romantic sense. I've never wanted to date anyone. Holding hands was fine. Anything beyond that made my skin crawl. And yet my chest had some warm moments between the fear by just seeing him happy. Just before the fireworks started, I excused myself to the washroom. I saw the masked creature standing nearby. If he wanted to eat me, I didn't want it to happen in front of my new friend, even if he would forget it afterwards. The few moments of fear and stress, something I didn't want to put Ashley through. I walked into the washroom, and I stood in front of the mirror waiting. I heard the footsteps before I saw the creature. He stopped right behind me. The tall form had hard. I saw the creature. He stopped right behind me. The tall form hard to see in the dull light of the bathroom. He didn't move closer to ask the question I dreaded all day. Having fun? I let the words fall between us as I tried to figure out my feelings. Let me listen to that, make sure it sounds all right. Having fun? There you go, cool. All between us as I tried to figure out my feelings. No, I wasn't having fun. I felt terrified. I didn't want to die, but I didn't think I've ever had a fun day in my entire life. Honestly, no, not really. But I've always been like this. I don't think I've ever been fully happy before. This may be the most I've enjoyed myself, but I don't think my feelings are normal. I've always accepted this neutral state of mind. If you kill me for that, could you at least let Ashley remember this day? I know he enjoyed himself, and I want him to keep this memory. I told it, unsure of what the monster would do. The creature listened patiently for my answer. It might be the longest response he'd ever gotten. That mouth started to drift down until it... It might be the longest response he'd ever... It might be the longest response he'd ever gotten. That mouth started to drift down until the half-moon shape was at the bottom of the mask. My entire body tensed up, waiting for whatever might happen next. A large, thin hand fell on my shoulder. The creature smiled wide with the mouth lined with countless teeth. I held my breath, waiting for the end. Then everything went black. A sound woke me up. Pings from my phone going off. I jumped awake. Looking around stunned, I sat in my bed safe and sound. Grabbing my phone, I looked at the text coming in. Ashley sent me a few photos. Some blurry ones of fireworks and a final one of a selfie with his stupid stuffed hippo in frame. That day didn't happen. He mentioned in his messages that he just woke up and wanted to send me photos from yesterday. I didn't even remember getting home or giving him my number. One sec, I don't remember anything from that paragraph. Let me just... I woke up. Text. Oh, it says test. It's supposed to say text. And I gotta redo this whole damn paragraph. That mouth started to drift down until the half-moon shape was at the bottom of the mask. Where is that? Like, who says I looked at the test coming in? It's not a test. It's a text. I looked at the test coming in. I can't believe I see it. Like, I was on autopilot, so I didn't even catch that mistake. Let me just redo the whole thing. Around stunned, I sat in my bed safe and sound. Grabbing my phone, I looked at the text coming in. Around stunned, I sat in my bed safe and sound. Grabbing my phone, I looked at the text coming in. Ashley sent me a few photos. Some blurry ones of fireworks and a final one of a selfie with his stupid stuffed hippo in frame. That day did happen. He mentioned in his messages that he just woke up and wanted to send me photos from yesterday. I didn't even remember getting home or giving him my number. I somehow stayed alive. That creature spared me, but why? I looked over to see the elephant sitting on my computer desk, staring at me with shiny black eyes. Ashley sent me another message thanking me for the day and asking for us to go back to the fair next year. I cared about him, but that wasn't going to happen. We could hang out anywhere but that place. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the pink stuffed toy moving, and to my horror, the head slowly started to run upside down. See you next. Yeah. Came a croaking voice from the toy. Get a book, Allie. We'll see you soon. The story has 10 seconds left. Came a croaking voice from the toy. I scooped up the dump. He put dump. It's supposed to say dumb. I scooped up the dumb-looking pink elephant and tossed it in the back of my closet, then shoved my dresser in front of the door. It seemed I needed to work my ass off to make sure Ashley had no reason to ever go back to that awful fair ever again. I gotta finish that sentence a little more, like, then shoved my dresser in front of the door. It seemed I needed to work my ass off to make sure Ashley had no reason to ever go back to that awful fair ever again. No reason to ever go back to that awful fair ever again. There we go. Rogue, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, that is so that's not bad. We got 2 25-minute stories done. These are both memberships stories, so if you don't have a membership but you caught it here, you caught it for free. There we go. To the members in the chat, I'll probably have, so I just put a member video out yesterday. So that was Monday. So I'll probably put the next one out either next Monday, maybe Friday. I'll try to get one out. I want to start banking up a bunch of these, so I'm going to keep putting out one a week, and then I'm going to try to keep recording extra ones, and then once I get like 10 and like a backlog, I'll start putting out 2 membership videos a week. Can I gift a membership to one person? I think you can. I think you can. Maybe not, though. If Cisco, I haven't heard Cisco talk in the chat for a bit, but Cisco, I think, would know. I actually don't know if you can individually gift memberships. I feel like you can, though, because I think I've seen someone do it before. Let's see. Maybe not, actually. I'm not sure. I'm trying to, like, click on somebody and see what the options are, but maybe not. Totally enjoyed tonight, and yes, I had to stay for the end of the story. There we go. Yeah, we got 2 of them done. Got a thumbnail done on stream. Chatted, relaxed, talked for a bit. Went till, the donations night. Kept us out here till 10. I was probably going to call it at 9, but we hit the, we hit the dono goal. So I was like, let's go another hour. Why not? It's Cisco, it's randomized. See, that's so ridiculous that they do it like that. But Jerry, the YouTube member videos do go on Patreon, and I see you're a member on Patreon, so you'll still be able to get at least the exclusives over there. And for everybody who doesn't know, you can join Patreon for just $1 too. I try to post there. Right now, every video from YouTube goes on there, and then of course member-only videos go on there. Sometimes I fall behind on there, so you might see me post like 5 in a day, just catching up. Everything's ad-free over there. I actually tried to post like 5 stories there yesterday, but the internet was so bad that like none of the stories would upload. And sometimes the internet just does that for a day here, for a few hours here. So I got like probably 8 stories I gotta catch up on the Patreon. that's so crazy that YouTube is like so far ahead in technology and so behind in some aspects. I mean, the fact that you can't click on someone's name and gift them a membership on YouTube is insane. All right, well, I was gonna hang out and play some League of Legends for like another hour on the stream, but I'm thinking it might just be bedtime. Although I don't know, it's like my eyes are tired, but my brain's not as tired. But I don't know, maybe I'm just all around tired and I just need to go to bed. All right, well, thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for chatting. Thanks for hanging out. We should definitely be here, every single Monday. It's Monday today. So I posted the membership story Sunday. I don't know why I thought it was Tuesday for a second. Yeah, Monday's live stream nights. Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually go till 10, sometimes a little bit later. But I got 5 hours of sleep last night, and it's time to go to bed, I think. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. And as always, thanks for listening, everybody.